bro.
They ain't gonna come in and change all the plans. All right, just for real.
If he come in, if it was The Rock, bro, I would bro.
That'd be crazy.
I would walk out that theater, bro.
That'd be crazy. Come in and change all the plans, bro. Can't change all the plans. All right, ladies and gents, for this week tuning in. Let me see. Turn on this real quick. Where you at, bro? Listen, bro. It's
we've been live for 30 seconds.
Blame them, bro. Mo was late today, bro. It's Mo's fault, bro.
That's crazy.
What? We were sitting here waiting. We were blowing up Mo's chat, and he just
lies.
Us and...
Mo taking forever, bro. No, not our fault,
bro.
He was
playing with that fufu. He's playing with that fufu stick. That's
He's
why.
down the road and come and go getting that.
Hey, yo.
Fufu stick, bro. All right. Welcome back to the No Name Wrestling Podcast for the audio and video listeners today. For people who seen us on audio on Spotify and all that stuff. Today we're going to be doing a little throwback nostalgia episode. Nothing SummerSlam related. We'll do SummerSlam next week after we do the recap and stuff. But today I figured we'd do something a little bit different. I noticed I'm trying to balance the episodes that we see because not everybody watches the episodes. So there's only certain people that see the clips of what we post to social media. So there's a lot of people on the clips who feel like we don't talk a lot of bad stuff about WWE, you know. So I figured, all right, well, we'll dedicate a whole episode where we talk an episode about stuff that we didn't like from WWE. So booking perspective. So we're gonna talk about the worst booking decisions from 2010 all the way up to 2012. So we're gonna talk about all the what is
Oh shit! No way! Oh my god!
Oh god!
You gotta do it!
Oh shit!
This is the epic moment.
Oh my god! Oh my god! He's gonna take the do-rag off.
This was not planned.
Oh my god!
This is an epic moment, ladies and
This
gentlemen.
was not planned.
Before we
About
continue,
to do it.
Feel like Robert
Downey.
Downey Jr. is about to take off the mask.
yeah, this is like Kane when he unmasked right here.
Ah!
He got a cut. Oh, count.
It's the first
I
time.
never had a cut.
Oh wait, that's not okay. Oh no.
I
This
had
the
a
first-
cut in like
This is the first time he's revealed the hair on this
3-4
pod. On this pod.
We've
That's
been
not
doing
even
this
bad,
for
G. What the
years,
fuck?
and I wasn't.
It's coming. It's a slow process, but it's coming.
It ain't bad.
All right,
Ain't
Jay, now
that
your
bad.
turn. Where's your fade at, Jay? Come on now. Where's the do rag?
It's packed. So, dude, I'm still unpacking.
You gotta find the do rag, man. You
Get back the do-rag.
can't lose that,
That's all
man.
that matters.
It's upstairs in one of my drawers. I just don't know which one.
You can't lose that now. That's an important asset now. You can't lose that.
Hopefully, I don't need it today. We'll see.
It depends on how nasty.
Are
you
you
get, I guess.
dog? We're talking about WWE from what 2010, 2020.
Yeah,
right?
So
Yeah, you might need to find that, bro. You might need to find it.
it's gonna get pretty wild. So so we'll do a little mixture of. We're doing a little a mixture of I guess positive and negatives. I mean, we're not going to do all negative stuff. There's going to be some good stuff we talk about here in a little bit, but we will talk about mainly the bad stuff that WWE just are in our opinions. And I did a little poll stuff too, so I'm gonna read the ones that the people voted on that they said was the worst year by year. And some of y'all may agree or disagree, but we'll see how everybody meshes with it. So this is just mainly for the clips because, like I said, a lot of people don't see our full episodes, so they only see certain clips that go out. So we feel like we don't talk good enough about WWE. But then if we post about AEW, then we don't talk enough about WWE either. So we can't win, bro. Just not win.
Yeah.
One guy. There's one guy that complains. So
Who is it? Is it Tyler?
I don't even.
no, Tyler. No, Tyler's usually cool in the comments. I forget this douchebag's name.
Hellfire. What was his name?
Oh
Yeah. He's
wow.
definitely.
Yeah.
He's still one of them.
If y'all won't say it, I will.
That dude's a punk.
Which one? See, I never had any. It's kind of. I mean, you should kind of see some of the same people.
Franchise.
But you see some of the same people throughout the episodes. But I mean, there's different people. Like I said, not everybody watched the episode, so they only see the clips. So they don't know. If they don't know our pod, then they just only see what they see on.
Right. Well, that's just the algorithm.
That's Twitter, baby.
They love pushing the negativity.
That's how Twitter looks at us.
I was about to say Twitter always take when we say something negative. They don't never take nothing else.
Hell yeah.
Nothing positive. We praised Liv, and they were like, eh.
We don't want to hear that.
Bro, what Liv Morgan is doing right now, that's all we literally asked for like the last 2-3 months ago, bro. That's all we asked.
That's what I asked, bro. Ask for some character.
Mostly.
Ask for some character.
Well, we did ask for some character. We did ask for that.
That's the main thing I wanted, which is like, can they do something?
Booking
has to go with it too, but it's like, bro, can y'all at least do something where y'all make her feel like important at least? Like,
important.
She's not a good
right?
champion, if we're being
so
honest.
we're at level 1, and that's where I was gonna get to, Will, because she this little run that she's on reminds me of EO when she was waiting on Bailey and all she did was feud with Mia Yim. That's what this reminds me of. It's just a more compelling story. That's really all it is. It's a more compelling story.
Let's just be honest, bro. The women's world championship is cursed. Like,
Yeah.
how many good feuds have actually been for that title? Like, since it started.
Three. And I mean,
Yeah.
But this one I feel like is more. It's all tied in with like the whole revenge stuff. You know what I mean? Because like Dom's a part of it. The title it adds like more into it. And then going into this match at SummerSlam, like if Liv were to win, I honestly wouldn't hate it because going into WrestleMania, going into WrestleMania when they was like we should do Liv. Like if they had this, say like they had this storyline like towards the end of the year. And they had built this up towards WrestleMania, I would have been okay with it. But there wasn't anything with Liv at that time that made it feel like.
The only thing I don't like about this whole thing is, and I know we're getting off track here, but could they have made it any more obvious that this is way more about the Judgment Day breaking up than it is anything Liv Morgan is doing? I mean, let's be for real. This is 99% about this is 99% about custody of Dominic Mysterio. That's all this is. Like who's going to be in the real Judgment? I mean, that shot they did with the camera, which again, WWE's been killing it with their camera angles and their shots and their establishing shots. But the establishing shot they made on Raw 2 weeks ago where the Judgment Day was coming in and first you saw JD, Dom, and Finn, and then you saw Rhea and Priest, and then you saw Carlito carrying the bags. So it's been interesting. I have mixed feelings about the whole thing because it really does, like you can rest assured that if Becky was carrying this title or Charlotte or Bianca, they wouldn't be playing second fiddle to a faction breakup. Let's be real. So I still don't think we're all the way there with Liv Morgan at this point.
See, I look at it differently. I feel like she's a part of that, though. She's the reason that the group is descending. She's the main reason that she was able to get in there and kind of break some molds and stuff like that. Because even when she was like in the Judgment Day's locker room, they weren't like forcing her out of there. They weren't like, get out of here. They were kind of just like, Dom, need to get ready for her. And then she stays. And they're kind of like, all right, I guess she's around now. You know what I'm saying? Like she's just here, I guess, until whatever Rhea comes back. So they weren't like forcing her, not even just Dom. It was Damian, like all those people, like Finn, like none of them were really like forcing her like to kind of leave. Yeah. You know what I mean? They were kind of like, okay with it.
I don't know. It's just if Liv can't beat Rhea without cheating at SummerSlam, which I do not foresee, if Liv wins that match, it's absolutely going to be because Finn Balor turns on her or some shit. I just don't see what good it did for Liv. It feels like we've gone full circle back to the exact same point we were at a year ago, where no one realistically believes that Liv Morgan has what it takes in storyline to beat someone the stature of Rhea Ripley. And I have seen nothing, even as funny and as different and as PG-13 or whatever as this story has been. It's done nothing for Liv Morgan's credibility. I still don't buy for a penny, for a hot second, that this version of Liv Morgan is in any way capable of pinning Rhea Ripley. So I think we need to hold up a little bit on any sort of positivity that we've garnered and how much better Liv Morgan is. Like, she's more interesting for sure, but I still don't think that she's made it to that next level that everyone was saying she was at. No, not at all.
Well, that's where I was going to get to, Jay, because yes, you're right. All she has done so far is be interesting. Like that is from WrestleMania to now. That is what she's done, is just be interesting. To Malik's point, she is the catalyst for why this is going to break up, because before this, Liv Morgan was just going to fight for the title. WWE, even though they try their best not to, they love doing 3-match series. So I think this was always going to end up at SummerSlam regardless, right? So, but here's the thing. To play a little devil's advocate, even though you're right that...
He said the thing.
Yeah, I did. I said the thing. Even though you're right that she still hasn't got any credibility right now because all she's done to feud with Selena Vega, that's more of a reason why she has to, and I mean like has to, like this would be one of the worst decisions Triple H made if he just put the title back on Rhea. Liv Morgan has to win, and even though I don't believe she's just gonna hit an oblivion and call it a day.
Exactly. But in this little
delusion land that she lives in, she doesn't need to.
Yeah, no,
and she can be credible after that.
Yeah,
as long as she wins, no matter what, because she beat Becky Lynch, even though we keep forgetting about that, she did beat Becky Lynch, and that was nefarious as well. So if you have beat Becky for the title, and now you beat Rhea, that's two people that we consider top of this division, no matter what nefarious ways. That's fine.
And before you go, Nate, just to establish and finalize my point, I agree with you for the most part. I just happen to believe both things are true, that this story has been entirely interesting and Liv Morgan is a little bit better off than she was a year ago. But it just feels like there's still something missing because I still don't believe that she's capable of beating anyone above her station at all.
And I think something that's missing is the win.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think the win over Rhea will do it. I mean, she's not, like Lewis said, bro, she's not going to be a badass heel. Like, not everyone should be or can be a badass heel. Edge was not a badass heel, like, until he came back out of retirement, and he was, like, buff as shit. That's the only time people, like, really took Edge, like, oh, shit, he could actually fuck somebody up. Before, it was like, he's going to do whatever it takes to win. He
cheated.
No one actually believed that Edge in a one-on-one fair match could beat John Cena. Like, if he played by the rules perfectly fine, there's no way Edge would have beat John Cena. But if he takes advantage of the rules, if he's bending the rules and he's got Lita by his side, of course he could beat John Cena. No way he could beat Undertaker in a one-on-one.
The difference, my dear Nate, is that when Edge did turn babyface, he very clearly and cleanly did beat guys at or above his station.
Yeah, well, because he was a babyface.
When Liv Morgan was babyface, she was routinely having her arm and leg snapped by Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler. There's been no 50-50 with her. So
I mean,
Edge had balance. Liv Morgan doesn't have that balance.
But I think she'll get there. She will.
I was about to say,
after this run, she will.
We are in the early stages of it because to me, Jay, to me, I feel like even though, obviously anybody can be messed up with booking, realistically, this win over Rhea Ripley at a Big Four that they're now about to start doing 2 nights. So they're trying to make it feel like a bigger deal now, right? A win over Rhea Ripley at this Big Four pay-per-view.
Or trying to pay back Minneapolis, but go ahead.
Fair enough. But fair enough. No, you could with that one. You could. But if she wins at SummerSlam and beats Rhea Ripley, you have now established her as a true quote-unquote main eventer. Even though it's by nefarious means, it's going to be hard for her to go back, even when she inevitably does go back to being a babyface, because I think that's what they ultimately see her as.
Yeah,
it's gonna be hard for her to go back to this. Oh, I'm getting my arm snapped and tapping out to matches, even though it's gonna be hard for her to go back to that because at this point, you've beaten Becky, you've beaten Rhea, and after she beats Rhea and this feud is done and it's really a Judgment Day turmoil thing, she's gonna have another major feud. Like, I don't see Liv losing this title to, Survivor Series. Honestly. And even then, she might walk into the Rumble with it. Because, and then this is just bluntly stated, who else on that Raw roster is going to take the title?
Well, that's the problem with the women's division in the first place. There's really, nobody else.
Io's literally the only one.
Not built up enough. Like a babyface Io.
Where are we at? And again, I know we're way off track, but where are we at with Raquel Gonzalez's health? Does anybody know?
Oh, I have no.
I heard she was good.
Nobody knows really.
What I read.
But I mean, she's a fresh face that could come back and realistically pose a threat to Liv Morgan down the road. I mean,
fair. And I even think I don't know where Damage Control went because technically Sonya and them attacked Damage Control too. So I don't know where they went. But Io, you have Lyra who they're building up slowly but surely. There's people you. I think the Raw roster you were going to have to.
What is chat? What's chat doing? Hold on.
No, it's not this chat. It's our chat.
Oh,
it's like Telegram, G.
That's insane, bro. That's insane.
All right, to keep us on track, one thing I do want to say is I love how we keep going back to Edge and Liv Morgan comparisons. I can't.
But that's how it needs to be, though. I think with the Edge and Liv Morgan. Though. I mean,
It's a great comparison, and it worked for Edge.
yeah,
So-
because I mean, like, when Jade said that Edge really just didn't start getting those big, really like babyface wins until after the heel stuff. You know what I mean? That was like he couldn't
booed in his
backtrack after that.
hometown.
Yeah,
He
he
was booed in
couldn't
his hometown.
he couldn't backtrack after that. You know what I mean?
Oh
So
my
I feel
God,
like-
SummerSlam 04, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
booed in his hometown.
Oh,
So I feel like there's no backtrack
Yeah,
with
that show.
with Liv. You know what I mean? Like you can't really backtrack at that stage. So
Yeah.
all they really needed to have her do is like be that ultimate opportunist. You know what I mean? Have her win, but
you can't say nothing no more, G.
Yeah, I'm putting it.
I don't know. We'll see what happens at SummerSlam. I guess I just I have little faith in this case.
G baby, cut the beat.
you put the durag back on, G.
I hate y'all. I'll put in the durag back.
Oh, what a day!
That was
What a
crazy.
day.
Y'all ruined it for G, man. Well, Biddy did.
Putting the durag back on. All right, let's get into the topic of the conversation.
All
We
right,
got-
all right.
We got
Sorry.
off topic a little bit, but
Yeah,
now we're going to dive into the topic of the episode. 2010-2020 worst booking decisions WWE did year by year. You only can pick one. So some years may have worse years than others, but you only can pick one bad booking decision. I put up a poll and asked also the followers and the fans to name what their majority of the booking decision was bad year by year. And I have all the results from year by year, which I'll read once we go into the year. So we're obviously going to start with 2010. 2010 was like
Lord.
one of the 2010 up to like 2012, like those 2 years, roster wasn't really like overly stacked with a lot of top talent. I mean, you had Randy Orton, you had Cena, Punk, Bryan and all that stuff. Actually, Bryan didn't come up until a little bit afterwards, but the roster was mainly built around, honestly, mainly like Cena and Orton. Like those were like the two catalysts,
Lord.
at that time frame. So.
Done for you.
2010. I will read. You want me to read it first? What the people said, or you want me to go afterwards?
Let's discuss it and then let's go to chat and see where chat landed.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
obviously,
No, I have the
It's-
results. It's on my phone. So
right? No, I know. Is there anybody here that's not going to say John Cena changing the SummerSlam match
The
and
Nexus?
beating the
No.
Nexus?
It's-
I mean,
That's the
No, I don't
correct.
think-
that
Yeah,
that
that's
is the
right there.
that is the quintessential bad booking decision.
Can I click on that?
Go ahead.
I've thought about this
I've
all
said
day.
everything I can say about that.
I was waiting for this because recently I've heard this argument a lot and it pisses me off when people are like, in hindsight, none of those guys did anything. Bro, do people not understand what a burial is
Facts.
and how
Facts.
hard it is to recover from a burial? The only person I can think of off the top of my dome that recovered from a burial was Booker T. And even that took a minute. Like,
Wow.
they didn't go nowhere because they lost the match in the dumbest way possible. The man got DDT'd on concrete and then moved out of the way from a 450 splash. Like, they didn't recover.
I think people also have to take into account too. Nobody's talking about when we talk about the Nexus getting buried. Nobody's talking about them as individual superstars. Nobody knows what they would have turned into individually. We're talking about them as a group, as a
Facts.
cohesive unit. Them as a group, they should have won that match at SummerSlam. They needed that win because clearly afterwards, it's shown after SummerSlam, they kind of were on the criteria of going down in the downward spiral. They needed that win to establish themselves as a group, not individually. We're talking about as a group. If they had beat WWE, Team WWE, right, and they had Wade Barrett pin John Cena, they could have went in a lot of good directions after that. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of good things you could have done with that. Didn't Barrett also had the feud with Orton with the championship afterwards, like a couple months afterwards, even though he didn't win that either. But like, I feel like the whole point of the whole NXT regime is like whoever wins NXT at that time frame before it became like NXT Black and Gold, whoever wins NXT is supposed to be somebody that you're at least going to invest into the future long term as somebody you're going to push as a main event star, right? At least that's what I took from it. I mean, that's what I assumed that they were going to do. And then they brought the entire NXT roster up in a debut that was shocking and breathtaking. It was like, bro, what's happening here? Because
Might have been better than the Shield debut, in my opinion.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
because like they came up
For
and they beat up John Cena, they beat up Punk, they destroyed the ringside, they beat up announcers, like they completely just, and it was so unexpected too because everybody on the NXT they got eliminated, right? So like they were like in our minds they were like gone and like, oh, these guys are
Yeah.
like a game show. Like you get eliminated,
Benito.
you're gone. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you're out of it. But then they all came up together, and then you were like, what's happening here? What's going on here? And then I mean, obviously, like a 7-man group, I guess there's really only so far you can do with that because there's so many people within the group. Because 7 people in one group is a lot, you know what I mean? But I feel like if you look at them from their debut all the way to SummerSlam, everything they did with their build-up was great. They beat people up on the roster. They even attacked Vince in the ring, bro. You remember that? When they beat up Vince in the ring?
Yeah.
Bro?
Yeah,
Like,
they beat up Undertaker too.
they beat up Undertaker. Like they were beating up main event caliber superstar, like legends, bro. Like they were attacking everybody. And all of it was just really for nothing because the build-up to SummerSlam was great, but then after SummerSlam, it's like, bro, like they didn't capitalize on the opportunity. And I said this before, the statement before. Some people got mad at me, but the Nexus was the Shield before the Shield was like the Shield, bro. The Shield just had better booking and less people and a different entrance and like what the Shield did as a group, attacking people randomly, standing on what they believed in. Like the Nexus did all that. They did everything like that. There were more people within the Nexus.
Did John Cena join the Nexus after they lost at SummerSlam?
Yes.
After they lost. Yeah.
That's like if you
He
really wanted to give John Cena the win, you could have did it after all that. Give him the win at SummerSlam. Have John Cena join the Nexus.
And
you know, like because I think that angle.
He got both wins.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think that angle of like him getting fired, even though he came back the next week. I still think him being in the Nexus and having to do what Wade Barrett said, that part was cool. I was rocking with that, but right after the SummerSlam loss, if they would have just won at SummerSlam, that would have been fun. You know what I mean? And then,
but even after that win, though, bro, it was like
he came out the next night on the stage just making fun of all of them.
Yeah, like even after Cena joined Nexus and stuff, it still was like it didn't really do much for Nexus, bro, because he basically was in the Nexus, and then he got fired because he didn't help Wade Barrett win the championship at Survivor Series. But then he shows up every week, and he basically forced the Nexus to force Wade Barrett to hire him back because John Cena was he just was too much. Like, bro, you gotta hire John Cena back, bro. He won't leave us alone. He keeps coming after us, bro. It's like the whole regime of him getting fired went out the window, especially when they had to bring John Cena back. And then they dismembered the original Nexus to make the new Nexus, which got dismembered. And then they got the core after that.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't make the core.
But in fairness, if John Cena never buries the Nexus, we don't get the CM Punk pipe bomb. In fairness,
it's true.
If you really think about it,
that also could have happened. That happened the year afterwards. That all could have still happened. Like,
no, but just Cena would. I mean, CM Punk wouldn't have been in this new Nexus and actually feuding with Cena. Like, I don't think he would have been in. I don't think he would have been feuding with Cena.
I would have
because he didn't have a feud with Cena.
Out of the Nexus,
he had a feud with Cena before it all happened too. So he probably had animosity.
Yeah,
like the reason he was leaving stuff was due to like the booking, like the way he had felt.
But I'm saying I think because he was on commentary for a minute.
He was injured.
He was hurt.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying he was on commentary for a minute. He was hurt, and then he just started hitting Cena with a chair, and then made the new Nexus like in that feud. So I was like, okay, well,
yep.
But he still could have did a little feud with Cena. You know what I'm saying at the time with
that could have been so special too when he bring
the new Nexus like.
If CM Punk could have led the Nexus regardless, like he could have led like a better Nexus.
Yeah, the Nexus was already like dying by the point he got to punishment.
Who was their big muscle? Like their
Mason
Ryan, Batista, Batista like
with no aura.
Bro, they had Mason Ryan. They added Mason Ryan.
When he got punched in the head, bro.
They added Mason Ryan. They added Bray Wyatt. They added Curtis Axel. And they kept like Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel and stuff. But I mean,
they went to the core. They went one way.
No, they were in there for a minute, and then they went to the core.
But CM Punk was making them do stuff to prove their oil.
Yeah, making them like torture.
Yeah, the whipping.
It was like hit each other with kendo sticks.
Yeah, one had to get knocked out by Big Show and.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Basically, like to prove your allegiance, you're gonna have to stab him. You know what I'm saying? To prove your allegiance here.
Like, some cult or something. Because he's just coming off the SC. He was just coming off the SES. So.
Yeah,
he's already a cult.
I feel like people miss the point though, and honestly, it comes with vibes. Honestly, though, it comes with the nostalgia now because people love John Cena, so they're trying to give John Cena the benefit of the doubt of him getting
No.
DDT'd on concrete and
Absolutely
beating the
not.
Nexus. But you
Absolutely
can't.
not.
Cena
I'm a John
can't.
Cena fan, bro, and you can't defend it, bro. That shit was whack, bro.
I mean, especially considering every one of those guys, with the exception of Michael Tarver, but 6 out of the 7 went on to show at different points in their careers that they had it. Like Ryback sucks, and we all know that now, but he was over for a period of 2 years. Justin Gabriel was doing really cool stuff. Heath Slater was one of the best parts of WWE post brand split. Daniel Bryan's Daniel Bryan. Bad News Barrett was one of the best acts of that 10-year period. So, I mean, you can't look at the people collectively that were in that group and immediately assume that, oh, it was going to be a failure anyway. That's BS, and you know it. That's a bad faith argument.
Yeah, no, and
I
nobody.
mean, Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel as a tag team. I'm not gonna lie, they really had a. They were
primetime
nice.
players. That was the team too, bro. Like Darren Young and Titus O'Neil, like they could have did a little something with that too, bro. Like, I feel like
both in the Nexus.
No, I feel like
No,
Darren
just
Young was in the
Darren.
Nexus.
Darren.
But I feel like
Titus O'Neil in the Nexus of them.
I feel like when people are saying that these individual superstars wouldn't have been able to succeed, I feel like they feel like we're saying like we feel like all these people would have been like main event caliber. Nobody's saying like everybody in the group would have been a main event star. But they could have. You could. That's why you have mid card. That's why you have tag team. That's why you have people like they could have did something very good with that group once they descended. You know what I'm saying? Parts of what they had. Like if they had established them as a group, Wade Barrett legitimately could have been a world champion. Like legit could have been a world champion within that time frame. Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater could have been a better tag team booking wise. I mean, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil's a tag team. They could have had a little bit better of a run. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, you know, with them as a group, bro, it just you can't show that you're investing into something like that and build a group up like that only for you not to pull the trigger in the end, bro. Like I said, from their debut all the way to SummerSlam, everything they did with the group was entertaining. It was interesting. You want to know what they were like the most important part of Raw for months, bro. Like when you watch Raw, you want to know what they were gonna do. What's this group gonna? Where are they gonna be at this week, bro? Who are they gonna come after this week, bro? Like that was the most important part of the show.
Hey, you think? And this is asking because it's Vince McMahon. You think it would have changed if Wade Barrett had an American accent instead of an English one?
Hey.
I'm
asking because it's Vince. It's Vince.
Y'all know he don't want to change the results. So.
But I don't know though because then you got to look at
bro. We say Cena changed it, bro. Vince
no, he did.
Cena was like
Edge and Jericho confirmed it.
Bro. Vince and Cena was like this though. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Vince has the final say, but I don't know if the accent because he did make Sheamus the WWE champion like 2 months on the roster.
Wasn't that an accident?
No, that was
he
like,
let him retain it and then win it.
Sheamus was gonna win, bro. Like
no, but if they both was fall through the table at the same time.
It was an accident the way he won it, but the result was always going to be the same.
Sheamus was always going to win.
Okay.
And then he won it again multiple times after.
Yeah, and Sheamus had a.
Well, at that point, yeah.
But they clearly showed they invested. You know, they were high key invested into Sheamus. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like he got a little something. So I don't know. I mean, but then again, like Vince is weird when it comes to certain people, though. I mean, so he's weird when it comes to certain things because there's certain people that can get away with certain stuff that other people can't too. So it's like, you know, that the accent could have been like an excuse that he could have used, but I don't necessarily think so. I mean, I really feel like, especially in that 2010, 2011 era, he could have maybe not WWE champion. He could have easily been the World Heavyweight Champion, bro.
Easily. Yeah.
Like, if you want to say WWE champion, okay, but like he couldn't have been the World Heavyweight Champion on SmackDown, on Raw.
They literally
at
some point.
They made Del Rio the champion.
They literally didn't
multiple times. He couldn't have been the world champion.
Del Rio and Jack Swagger was a World Heavyweight.
Oh God!
In closing on this whole Nexus thing, there's certain moments that feel like timeline splitting moments. For instance, Austin cutting his promo. Bret Hart and Austin's double turn. If those things don't happen, where the Mankind call with Tony Schiavone saying, don't go to WWF. There's just certain things that you think about and say, if that had gone a different way, how different would the next 10 to 15 years have played out? And to me, the Nexus is one of those things. Absolutely.
Easily.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
So we all cohesively agree on 2010.
Yes.
2011 might be a little bit different. I don't know. I'm gonna see what y'all have to say about 2011.
I know what 2011.
I'm gonna tell y'all what the people voted.
Okay,
the people
go
voted.
ahead.
Want me to tell you what the people voted first, or
Yeah, go
They
ahead.
vote for 2010.
Yeah.
What did they vote for 2010?
Yeah,
2010 was
2010
Nexus. 2010 was Nexus.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good.
So that,
2011, majority of the people voted the worst booking decision of the year was Rey Mysterio losing the WWE Championship to John Cena.
No. He shouldn't have won it in the first place, to be honest.
It was a bad decision though. It was a bad decision.
The very same night.
No, it was.
The very same night.
If I was picking with my heart, I would definitely say that. But I got to pick with my brain as much as I don't want to. The worst booking decision of 2011 is the handling of the Summer of Punk.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
easily,
without doubt, without pause, without everything they did with that was wrong. Everything Triple H said and did was wrong. Kevin Nash coming up being a part of it was wrong. They had they didn't just have lightning in a bottle with CM Punk in 2011. They had a freaking global thunderstorm weather event in a bottle with CM Punk in 2011, and they just opened that shit and let it all out. That is,
and it's crazy because Jade's saying it. You know it's bad if Jade is saying it.
I'm saying it about CM Punk.
Literally, like I'm saying, the same night.
Actually, the summer of Punk actually was the third most voted. The second one that people felt was the worst was Christian losing the world title to Randy Orton.
That was
how many times did Lewis vote? How many times did Lewis vote?
Right.
No, but they're saying, I think when they're saying that, they're talking hindsight and the feud, because they had good matches, but I feel like the feud was backwards though. Like Orton could have been the heel and Christian could have been like the baby face. Especially after Edge retiring and stuff. Like they could have easily.
Christian has never pinned anybody to be a world champion in WWE.
Because when he went back to world title, it was due to a low blow. You know
he spit in his face.
Yeah, so it's qualification stuff.
I
agree with the Summer of Punk though. I feel like breaking down the whole timeline, the build up with Cena and Punk to Money in the Bank was fantastic. The match itself, 5-star match, incredible atmosphere. Everything about it was beautiful. They had Punk leave, which was cool because there were some people who believed Punk may show up to like TNA with the championship or something. We didn't know. Like, we didn't know what was going to happen. So they made this new tournament with this new championship. They have Rey Mysterio win it, only for him to lose it an hour later to John Cena. And then CM Punk comes back right afterwards. So in hindsight, I always said that Rey Mysterio should have never even won the championship when they didn't have plans to even insert him into the feud, because they didn't add him to the SummerSlam match to make it a triple threat. And then I think he got a rematch afterwards against Del Rio after he had cashed in Money in the Bank, but that was pointless to a hindsight. And then it all looks bad when you have Punk win the championship at Money in the Bank, only for him to come back. And now you have two WWE champions now because Cena won the second WWE championship. So then you go into SummerSlam, Punk beat Cena again, but it was by like technicality because Cena's foot was on the rope and like Triple H didn't see it as the referee when he was like clearly right there, like in that vision. That made it worse. Kevin Nash comes back and like nobody wanted that. He attacks CM Punk. Del Rio cashes in to win the championship. And then they had Del Rio drop the title a month later to John Cena. So now, and then you had CM Punk lose to Triple H on that same show too. So that whole clusterfuck of what they did in that time frame just didn't make sense, bro. Like, you're doing your whole booking completely backwards. Like, you had Punk beat Cena, so Cena couldn't beat Punk, but then he wins the title back and beats Del Rio for it. Like, that was like, okay. And then you have Triple H beat CM Punk, the hottest guy in the company at the time frame, does nothing for CM Punk. So the whole handling of the Summer of Punk was just like so bad in hindsight. Like, maybe most of us watching when we were watching in 2011, maybe we didn't see it as that because we were just watching. But like,
I hated Punk, so
when you look at it in hindsight, years and years later, this was over a decade ago. It's like, bro, how did y'all mess that? Like,
it's so stupid.
Y'all could have pushed CM Punk as champion. His reign as champion could have been longer than the 434-day reign. Like, he could have kept the championship for Money in the Bank all the way until 2013 if he had wanted to, because he won the championship back in 2011 at Survivor Series and then held it for that 434-day reign. But if they had wanted to, they could have pushed him as champion through the whole summer, through the whole winter of 2011, all of 2012 if they had wanted to, because they did it anyway, and then all the way into WrestleMania 29 if they really had wanted to, because he was that hot. And then you turn him heel like they did. Now you got a hot heel. You had him as a hot baby face. Perfect booking. But the fact that they really fumbled up the Summer of Punk goes to show that, number one, they probably never wanted CM Punk to be in that position anyway, because he was never supposed to get that popular after that pipe bomb stuff. I don't think they expected the reactions after the pipe bomb to be what they were. And it kind of really feels like they didn't want Punk to kind of overshadow Cena as the top guy. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want him getting big. We don't want him getting bigger than the guy we want as the guy. You know what I mean? When I really felt like they could have You could have had Punk and Cena equally as the two top guys of the company. That could have been like a Rock and Austin, because
Austin Rock. Yeah.
John Cena could have been the company guy. CM Punk was the guy for the people, right? John Cena was the guy, had been pushed as the guy for so many years, but there were a lot of fans at the time who didn't want John Cena in that position anymore. They were tired of John Cena. They felt he was corny with his babyface gimmick and him winning all the time. They wanted somebody who was an alternative. Bam, you get CM Punk. He don't look like John Cena. He's not pushed like John Cena as far as being structured as the guy that the company wants as the guy. They're making that very clear. CM Punk was the guy for the people. You could have easily had those two guys, I feel like, equally at the top spot. One guy doesn't have to overshadow the other. If you don't want Punk over Cena, that's cool. But I really feel like at that time frame, they could have had another Rock and Austin in that position as far as two guys you could have had at the top of the company. One guy, the company guy. The other guy, the guy for the people.
Yeah. One thing that doesn't get mentioned in that situation for me with the whole Summer of Punk, if they had just kept him gone for they didn't even have to put him on different companies, because we know how Vince is when it comes to other companies, right?
Yeah.
Just put a focus on the other world championship you have in your company. Just put the focus on the world heavyweight title. Make that the number one title while Punk stays gone. You can rebuild the credibility.
That was still
belt.
between
they weren't gonna do that because this is still when they had Raw and SmackDown separate.
They killed that like 2 months later.
But I don't know. Did they? No.
Yeah, no, Super Show. Raw Super Show.
Raw. Yeah, but they still had a World Heavyweight Championship on SmackDown. Like that was still around.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna lead into why I'm bringing that up in a second. But as far as your point, Mo. I don't agree with the way they did Rey Mysterio, but even if you just wanted to put the title back on John Cena, you could have kept him gone. And this is where I'm leading into, because another unfortunate side effect of all this. Do y'all remember who was in that Raw Money in the Bank ladder match? I'll tell you. Kofi Kingston, Rey Mysterio, Evan Bourne, R-Truth, Jack Swagger, Alex Riley, The Miz, and Alberto Del Rio. Now, obviously, hindsight is always 20/20. But if you try to put yourself back in 2011, who else was going to win that Money in the Bank match? And at that time, it was still 100%. It was still a guaranteed 100%. If you keep CM Punk gone, I don't think Alberto Del Rio suffers. I think more people would be willing to see Alberto Del Rio cash in on Cena as opposed to cashing on Punk, who was the hardest guy. And I've said this on this show multiple times. No matter who would have won that Money in the Bank ladder match, I don't care who you would have put in there. Unless it was an established guy, like one of the top stars at that time, if you were going to try to push somebody new, anybody would have suffered because it was CM Punk. And CM Punk was the hottest guy at the time. And to my knowledge, I don't think they had established, other than Edge, holding that contract. Oh, and I think Punk holding that contract for like months and months and months going into the next year, getting close to Mania. I don't think that was a common idea or thing. It wasn't obviously overnight, but nevertheless. Yeah. I look at this match and I'm like, in 2011, the only person I would think would win this is Del Rio. That's the only person I would think that would win it, because Kofi Kingston, he ain't. 2 years ago, he got removed from the main event, so don't believe him. Definitely don't believe Jack Swagger. I think Alex Riley was in there either right after the Miz feud or still during the Miz feud, so it was around that same time frame. So. And then I think R-Truth maybe, because he had just turned heel. That might be your like dark horse. But Alberto Del Rio was the only one that was going to win that match.
No, at the time, a lot of people thought, and I was one of them, a lot of people thought that The Miz was going to be a repeat winner. And I honestly, looking back, I think that might have been the best decision. Can I be completely straight up with you, G? I completely forgot that Alberto Del Rio won Money in the Bank. Completely forgot.
I haven't.
You're sitting there.
Unfortunately,
you're sitting there talking about it, and I honestly, when I picked my phone up a second ago, that was me Googling to make sure that you were remembering right, because I completely forgot. They loved Alberto Del Rio, didn't they? But
they pushed him to the moon.
But my whole thing is we're
still had
talking about the Summer of Punk. I don't think it really does any good to talk about what was happening that summer or who was winning a certain match that summer. This is, again, one of those things where if you make CM Punk the star all summer, if you lead that up to him getting the WrestleMania main event, maybe Punk never leaves. And then maybe you have Punk for this entire 10-year stretch that you missed him for. And who knows what WWE looks like from that point forward. But this was the beginning. He has said in podcasts, obviously repeatedly, that the way that he was booked during the summer of Punk was the beginning of him having doubts that WWE was going to be his long-term solution because he didn't believe in what they were doing. So, again, a lot of these for me, except for obviously the ones from the last couple of years, because obviously things need to play out, but all of these from the early 2010s for me are all about what WWE could have been going forward if they had just done the right thing. And in this case, they just didn't.
Like the $1 billion deals they're getting now. I mean, obviously, I don't remember what year the WWE Network actually launched, but
14.
Yeah, 14. So imagine, I mean, the Peacock spent $2 billion on that thing, and that was WWE says they make record profits, but lowest viewership by far that it had been in a minute, and that was worth $2 billion. Imagine what it would have been worth if WWE was booming. Because I like them selling the WWE Network. Like, I think that was just kind of like a, hey, I mean, $2 billion, why not? But imagine if they could have actually had people like bargain for it, like driven that up to like 3. Because
like, imagine if Netflix was already on it.
Yeah, because like $9.99 a month for what we was getting at the time was a steal. That would have went up.
Dude.
That would have went
Straight up
up
steal.
crazy. Like, bro, when they
Straight up
announced
steal,
that it was only gonna be $9.99, I was like, are y'all
And they had
serious?
every
Everything.
company.
Everything, bro.
I was able to
bro.
rewatch the Attitude Era because of that, bro.
It's
Bro,
insane, bro.
word. I was like, bro, that was
Bro,
when
I use
got
that
my first
WWE Network more than anything, bro.
Bro, when I first
I
got
loved
my
it.
job, my first check, I signed up for the WWE Network. Because I was like, my first check, bro. So yeah, bro. I'm just saying, you look at that year. Like, I think I was saying that because I think at that time, this is why I think you should have kept CM Punk away. Because nobody, I don't care who you put in that match, would have been able to recover from cashing in on CM Punk. Like, not a soul. Like, I don't care.
There was
Maybe the Miz, Jay, to your point, because he'd already done it. So maybe you can get away with the Miz, but other than that, yeah.
There was a video I saw on YouTube rebooking the Summer of Punk. And they had the idea where they keep Punk away and they put the focus on the World Heavyweight title. And they do a whole thing where Del Rio actually cashes in, even though, we know it's for the WWE title. He actually cashes in on the World Heavyweight title after Daniel Bryan cashes in on his and makes that like the whole thing, like how they have it. I think they put the World Heavyweight title as the prize in the Royal Rumble. And that's when you bring Punk back. To keep him away that long. And I'd been like, yeah, because he literally said, I'm leaving. Like, fuck this place.
To come back, and he came back in like 2 weeks.
It's 8 days.
Yeah,
8 fucking days.
8
He missed
days,
one
bro.
Raw. At least we got.
Yeah,
Cole.
they at least could have kept him going. At least I don't know if they would have pushed him going for that long, but they could at least kept
Maybe
him
not.
going.
I could have gone after
Survivor
SummerSlam.
Series, maybe.
What I would have done, he would have returned at SummerSlam. And look, this is what you easily could have done.
Ish, yeah.
Oh, we don't have a championship anymore. Okay. Alberto Del Rio, you won Money in the Bank, but you don't have a title on Raw to cash in on. So guess what? You're going to SummerSlam tournament. The same tournament, just don't have Rey Mysterio win it, then lose an hour later. Just have him lose to Cena regular, right? Because we know what it was. Tournament, Cena wins. There's your SummerSlam match. You can have Cena win. You can have Del Rio win. I don't care which one at that point. Have somebody win. They was pushing Del Rio to the moon. Maybe, who knows? And then CM Punk returns, and that's how you end the show. He wins the unified title at whatever the next pay-per-view was. Rematch at Survivor Series. That's how you kick off Summer of Punk.
So,
not the champions, because he lost to Triple H. So
Yeah,
respect to Malik
get rid of that.
chat for having respect to Rey Mysterio, but that booking decision was bad. But Rey didn't need that title.
Ray should have lost.
Let's be
Been
honest.
in that situation.
It's only really bad for Ray just because he won it, but he should have never won it to begin with
Right,
because they didn't
yeah.
have plans to insert him into the story. If they had inserted him into the story still, then I could feel y'all. But they didn't have any plans to make him a part of them. The main focus was on Cena and Punk. That was the big marquee story right there. They didn't have any plans to make it a triple threat. They didn't have any plans to make Rey Mysterio a part of the WWE Championship storyline. So for him to win it, he should have never even won it to begin with. He just won it just so he can give it up.
And it kind of made John Cena look like a little bit of a bitch to go up to Ray after he's already exhausted his energy and say, "Hey, give me a."
I thought he was turning heel when it happened.
No, and legitimately
had a whole double turn, maybe.
And legitimately, you could have just had that as your SummerSlam main event because it's Rey Mysterio and it's John Cena. Like it's two of your biggest babyfaces. Literally could have been your SummerSlam main event. And then CM Punk could have returned the next night.
And the last thing, before we move on, what makes it worse, y'all know Cena wasn't even in the tournament.
No, he wasn't.
You know who Rey Mysterio fought in the finals?
The Miz.
The Miz.
No, you know who was in the tournament with the briefcase? Alberto Del Rio.
Wait, he was?
Why?
He was.
Yes, he was. He was in the tournament.
For that same
he was in the tournament. Oh my god!
One of the worst Money in the Bank winners.
Now, in fairness, and if I had the pin, I would have been like, hey, let's have him hold the world title while holding the briefcase. So if he loses, hey, you still got an automatic chance. That would have been interesting.
He loses what title gets the
facts. I would have put yup.
No, imagine he wins the WWE Championship. He loses. The dude celebrates, hits him with the briefcase. I'm taking this shit back,
bro. That would have been. That
might have made me a fan of Alberto Del Rio, and I hated Alberto Del Rio.
I couldn't stand it. I didn't care about.
They could have did what they did with Del Rio, what they did with Edge after he lost the world title in the chamber and came in the WWE chamber and took the world title chamber and took
I could see 10 years later someone putting an edit on TikTok of him hitting it like an audio being like, "Bitch, you fought."
Someone's gonna do like AI or something like that.
You know how everybody on Twitter's been like, "Hey, who's that one wrestler you rocked with that nobody did?" Mine was Alberto Del Rio. I actually rocked with him. I actually rocked with Alberto, man. I thought he was nice with him.
At least it's not Jack Swagger.
Only thing about Jack Swagger was his theme song, and when he started doing the
I didn't even like that.
Jack won too. What you mean?
No, I hated that song.
I was like, turn it off. After that, I was like,
that song was fire, but Jack Swagger.
I hated everything about Jackson. I hated his song. I hated
the push-up on the stage.
The push-up with
the push-up on the stage was cold.
Oh my god,
those were cold, bro. Those were cold, bro.
The most unnecessary pyro ever, bro.
He thought he was cool. He thought he was him, bro.
How you get pyro doing push-ups, bro? Come on, bro.
Bro, even Austin
because he thought he was him.
Come on.
But I will say, Swagger's theme song is the most fun to ironically sing. It's so fun. Get down on your knees.
I hated his theme song so much, bro. On SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, bro, I skipped that shit every time, bro.
I'll bring you.
You allowed him in your game. No, I didn't put him on.
What about We the People? What about We the People?
Yeah,
I like
We the People was hype.
That was like I like the stuff he did with that, but they didn't.
That's also one of the more underrated goated entrance names too. The All-American. Oh my god, that was heat.
That was tight. That was tight.
That was heat.
Is he Jack Swagger now? Oh my god.
That was a cool little nickname.
Swagger,
that was a cool little nickname.
Good presentations.
Okay.
Yeah, the presentation was nice.
Bro,
if
you would take that gimmick that Jack Swagger had and you put it on somebody today, they'd be over
with Chad Gable.
Chad Gable would. Oh my! Chad Gable came out. He was already talking like,
bro. If he
came out talking about some We the People,
if they had presented Jack Swagger in 2010 with the We the People gimmick as the All-American, I can get behind that. That would have been fire. But the whole Jack Swagger with the lisp and the bro, I could get behind.
He still got the lisp no matter what, bro.
No, yeah, but there's something about him, bro. He just
Cody got one too.
He didn't scream.
Yeah,
Cody Rhodes screamed main event guy though, bro. Jack Swagger did. Jack Swagger. He ain't
WWE. I was just like,
I didn't feel that from Jack Swagger, bro. Especially what was so crazy is that remember how he used to come out and he would smile and stuff, and he was all like, smile. But after he won that world title, dumb serious, bro.
Bro, why was he bored that he just won his first one?
Yeah, bro, mad serious, bro.
He's like, finally.
Mad serious. And I know
Damn.
that was a Vince. I know
Yeah,
that.
nigga, damn.
I know that was a
He's like,
Vince thing,
damn,
bro.
bro, I
I
guess.
guarantee you,
Nigga
Vince
was frustrated.
probably told that man, when you win that world title, you better not smile, bro. You better not crack one.
He's
smile
like-
when you win that title, bro.
Probably.
This
Hey,
fucking
hey,
nigga, like-
hey, and then he
Yo,
saw
I heard
this.
Cena refused to let him cash in on him, bro.
I don't blame him. I did,
Wow,
dude.
wow.
All right, this.
Out of here.
Hey,
No, hell no.
he told Jack Swagger not to smile. He saw that. He's like, ooh, okay. Hey, Finn Balor, make sure you smile every time you walk out there, please. Please.
Yeah,
Big old smile across your face, because we don't need that again.
All right, so let's move on to 2012, man. 2012. There was two that were kind of like neck and neck when I was putting up the poll and the tie. Both involved John Cena. One of them was John Cena should have beat The Rock, and the other one was John Cena beating Brock Lesnar. So those were the two that.
Justin should not have beat The Rock.
No, so my
Whoa,
vote-
whoa,
No, yeah, he should have. Yeah, he should have.
He should have. He should have.
Yeah, we didn't need part two.
You should have reversed
No,
it.
no,
You should have
no.
reversed the
Because what they messed up on is John Cena never had a downward spiral. If he would have had a downward spiral, I'm fine with that. The fact he didn't have a downward spiral makes it so much worse. Lose to Brock, lose to Brock, lose to Johnny Laurinaitis. Sure, bring him back, whatever. Lose, and then he can turn heel the next night. It literally was so easy. That's the worst decision they made. It's fine. He could have lost to Rock. Sure, why not? If I think that's what they were going to do. I think they were actually going to turn him heel off that, but they backed out of it.
Heel
They
before
backed out
the
of it.
match.
Yeah,
But
they had a whole
yeah.
thing set up for it too. They had his
No,
theme,
the main reason.
So here's-
music, all that.
Well,
These
I
are
was
two.
gonna-
Go ahead.
Because for me, yes, if you were going to have him lose, that's the route you should have went. However, for me, the reason why I don't think you should have done it twice, or because I think once they saw how much money they was gonna make, they said, "Yeah, let's run this back." But I think Cena should have beat him the first time, and that should have been that. Because guess what? You know who you could have main evented Mania with next year? CM Punk. I fully believe the only reason they turned CM Punk heel is because they knew The Rock and Cena was the plan for the next Mania, and they weren't gonna turn Cena heel at that point. Who's the big bad that you could cheer The Rock for? Oh, let's turn our WWE champion. I promise you, because I think what you could have done, Cena could have came in and beat The Rock and got cocky. He could have got cocky. He was on top of the world at that point. Cool. Brock comes back. Brock beats him. He's like, oh, okay. Like, wasn't expecting that, but, whatever the case, right? And then you can still have him lose, but by like, what's the phrase? Not taking his opponent seriously, because he lost to the Big Show, or he lost to John Laurinaitis because of the Big Show. He lost all his championship matches. He still could have lost to Punk in that triple threat with Ryback and them. He still could have all them championship matches. Yeah, still could have lost. He could have been like, dang, like, The Rock cost him his last championship before he won it again. So you could be like, dang, like I beat The Rock, and you still could have done it. Still had Punk Cena by the time we got there, and you could have even turned Cena heel. Like there was like 3-4 years straight. You had a perfect story to turn Cena heel, and you did it. I just don't think you needed The Rock, because The Rock being there and Cena, because once Cena lost, it was like, damn, they're gonna run this back. And so many other things got sacrificed, more so CM Punk than anything. Like honestly,
the main thing, whether they turn Cena heel or not, that's not the point I want to make here. The main key I looked at with John Cena and The Rock, this should have been like The Rock coming back to give the torch to John Cena. The same thing with when Hulk Hogan came back and put over The Rock at WrestleMania. That was to solidify The Rock. Hey, you're the guy now, or this is here. It's yours, bro. Like, we want to solidify you as that guy. This is what it should have been done for John Cena. He had been the face of the company for a period of time there, even though he was already established. The whole point of that buildup was, John Cena, I need to prove that I can beat The Rock, to prove that I'm the guy. The Rock wanted to come back to prove that he was still a guy, at the top of the level. They called it once in a lifetime, so it's like, okay, you put a hashtag next to that match. It only should happen one time. You know what I mean? So when John Cena lost that match, of course they had to run him back, because they had to give John Cena that win over The Rock, because he needed that for his legacy, moving forward and everything. you should have just won the first match to begin with. You're always going to do it anyway. You're always going to have the man beat The Rock. So why not just do it the first time? That way you don't have to repeat it the second time and then sacrifice, like G said, a CM Punk main event at the time when he was having the hottest championship reign that we had seen in the company in a long time at that frame. You know what I mean? So
Since Cena's.
Yeah, a lot of things that got sacrificed, you know, within that moment. Like, of course, you could look at the Brock Lesnar losing to John Cena. Okay, that was bad to an extent too. You know what I mean, but realistically, all that realistically, honestly, could have been a lot different if Cena had just won that match. You know what I mean? If Cena had won the match and still had beat Brock, okay, because he had just beat The Rock. You know what I mean? So that was like, oh, that's something. Okay, that's Super Cena at the peak. But even if Brock Lesnar had beat John Cena after The Rock or after he had lost, that would have been cool for Brock. But the passing of the torches was the main thing when I looked at it. Like, this was The Rock coming back to set up a dream match that we all had been waiting for and all had talked about for years. Like, this is a match that you only thought could happen like on a video game, you know what I mean? And they built it up a year ahead of time. They never had done that with the main event. So you knew a year in advance you were going to get this huge main event between two of the biggest stars in wrestling history. They called it once in a lifetime. And the way I looked at it was this was supposed to be The Rock, even though I kind of figured The Rock was going to win because it was in his hometown, his first big one-on-one match in like
and then the next
so many
Mania
years.
was near John Cena's, right? The
New
next
York.
Mania was
Yeah, it was in New York.
yeah.
So I kind of figured The Rock was going to win, but the way they were building up the story in my mind was like, this has to be The Rock passing of the torch, even though Cena kind of had the torch at the time and he had been that guy. Just imagine if Hulk Hogan had come back and beat The Rock at that WrestleMania. What would that have done for The Rock?
We would have all been
like that would have been. Imagine if
that's not gonna work for me, brother.
Yeah, like I kind of look at it in that aspect. You know what I mean? Kind of like when Hogan beat Andre at WrestleMania 3. Like that was for Hogan. You know what I mean? Like that was to push the narrative where the company was going. You know what I mean? Like The Rock beating Hulk Hogan meant a lot for The Rock's legacy and pushing forward. I feel like John Cena should have beat The Rock the first time because, like I said, they were always going to have him beat The Rock anyway. So they did it twice in a lifetime for what? And the second match wasn't even as good as the first one. Let's be honest. Second match.
I mean, The Rock got hurt in the second one, right?
He got hurt in the beginning.
I've said it before. Same fucking match.
But the second one.
It definitely is this. No.
It's worse.
The same.
It's worse.
I mean, it's worse, but it's the same match.
The second one was
the same match, but
second one was more of just counter after counter after counter. Like if you go back and rewatch that match,
finisher. It was a finisher. They're spamming finishers.
Yeah, it was so many
45-minute finisher fest.
Like John Cena. Like if you go back and look at that spot, remember that spot towards the end of the match, the first one where Cena going for the people's elbow and he gets caught in the rock bottom, gets beat 1, 2, 3. Did that same spot in the second time, but it was like Cena was like outsmarting The Rock. He picks him up for an attitude adjustment, and then The Rock counters that into a rock bottom, bro. It was a counter.
Either way, like
counter.
literally either way. So I was like, all right.
It was a counter move. Like they were like basically like, I guess the story they were telling was they both knew each other so well is that it was going to be hard for them to get the advantage over each other with their big moves. You know what I mean? So I get it to that extent, but I just feel like
how they know each other so well.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, bro, they have one match.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, WWE.
And The Rock doesn't even wrestle. He didn't even wrestle that much. So it was like
the WWE logic. You know what I'm saying?
I do want to give one like little shout out to a booking decision from that same year that has to do with the same guy, John Cena winning Money in the Bank. Stupid.
Actually,
No.
I don't know. He about to look at who is it to put in the bank. Jericho was in there, bro.
It was fucking stupid.
So the match only had 5 people. It was Cena, Jericho, Miz, Kane, and the Big Show. Those were all the people in that match. And the way I look at it, Cena winning Money in the Bank, if they had him lose to Brock, they could have used that also a part of his story as his downward spiral. You know what I mean? Like he become the first person to cash in to lose successfully. Like they could have used all that story aspect, you know, with him having a downward spiral if they had just had him lose to Brock. You know what I mean? But I feel like the Brock win really kind of damages that downward spiral storylines because, like, okay, you beat like one of the most dominant superstars ever, and when you was getting your ass beat in that match for real, like you was getting beat up bad in that match, and somehow you pulled off a miracle comeback. You know what I'm saying? But then you couldn't beat John Laurinaitis, and then you couldn't cash in the Money in the Bank successfully. So it just makes it look worse. But I feel like if he had lost to Brock, John Laurinaitis, he had lost to all these people. He wins Money in the Bank, and it seems like he's going back to being Super Cena, right? Like, oh, John Cena's about to get back on track, and then he fails that cash in. I feel like they could have used that a part of his downward spiral story, and like, damn, John Cena couldn't beat The Rock. He couldn't beat Brock. He couldn't win. He couldn't cash in the Money in the Bank successfully. Like, is John Cena no longer that guy?
But
My thing is, John Cena at that point in time. Hold on. I'll let you go.
No.
At that point in time, was already a 12-time world champ. I don't think it's worse than him losing to Rock. I just want to give this a shout out. He's a 12-time world champion at this point. He literally just last year just walked up to Rey Mysterio, looked at him, and said, "I'm getting a title match." Why does he need the Money in the Bank contract to get a title match?
Okay. Hold on. Because there's two things with that Money in the Bank that I've been defending for years.
Why?
First off, when it comes to Cena winning Money in the Bank, I know you said Jericho was there, Nate. So I'm gonna just be honest. At that time, watching, I wasn't moved by that nigga. The reason why I don't think Cena winning Money in the Bank was so bad, they needed something for Raw 1000, right? They needed something. And if the plan all along was to turn CM Punk heel, if that was the plan all along, they had this in the works, right?
Yeah.
Then that's fine. Now, if they woke up Raw 1000 and said, "You know what, Punk? You're going heel, brother," then okay, I'm with you. But the other thing too, even though the Brock thing hurts it, I think Cena being the first guy not to cash in successfully, I think that was bigger for the downward spiral than anything else, because it's John Cena. We talk about Super Cena all the time. He's the first one, not Damian Sandow, not Otis. John Cena is the first guy to not cash in successfully. I think Cena having to like have that as a stain on him, like, oh, I'm this great, but yeah, I'm the only one who hasn't cashed in successfully.
And realistically, going into that match, I for sure thought John Cena was beating CM Punk.
No, you want to know why I didn't? No, actually,
I did.
The whole time, I was like, I didn't think Cena was winning because he was feuding with the Big Show when he decided to cash in.
Oh my!
I thought they were going to make.
They were having a little mini feud.
Yeah, I thought they were going to make that for the championship.
Like, no. I was like, when he announced it.
Because then they did the triple threat.
No, because remember, the week before he came out and Big Show was like, "Go ahead, Cena."
He's like, "Cash that in."
Cena.
He's like, "Cash in now."
I'm like, "No." He's like, "No, I'm gonna wait a week for Raw 1000." I was like, "Wow, Cena's gonna lose."
Idiot.
I didn't think he was gonna turn Cena because Punk was a babyface at the time, and they had just had the match of the biggest match in a while. In 2011, so I was like, okay, Raw 1000, you run that back. Cool.
I'll give this to you. Somebody had to fail eventually. That's the one positive, and at least it's a nigga that's bulletproof. So I'll give that's the one positive.
Yeah. It should have been Damian Sandow.
So let me jump in because I've been waiting because I knew that we were going to spend a day and a half talking about The Rock and Brock Lesnar, and I just want no part of it because regardless of how either of those matches went, it's John Cena and it's The Rock and it's Brock Lesnar. They were going to be okay regardless. So I wanted no part of that. My mind immediately went to something else involving John Cena that absolutely, I think, changed the course of at least one person's career and maybe two and maybe three. And that was, and this technically started at the end of December, but it mostly took place at the beginning of 2012, right before WrestleMania. It's the Embrace the Hate storyline.
Oh, good.
Everything about that sucked. Kane comes back with a mask for the first time in 8 years, and you book him as a heel. I'm sorry, what the fuck? And then you run this entire angle with Kane. Join the dark side. And John Cena doesn't even flinch. So what was the point? And then in the middle of all of it, you've got Zack Ryder, a guy who is set to be one of the faces of your company for the next 10 years. You put him in a neck brace, you put him in a wheelchair, you have his girlfriend cheat on him, and you push him off the stage. And then after it's over, John Cena gets to go main event with The Rock. Kane is now lost in limbo, and Zack Ryder looks like the single biggest loser that we have ever seen in wrestling
Bro got kicked in his balls,
history.
bro.
What they were thinking
At WrestleMania?
with any of that. None of
After
us
he
need-
got pushed off the wheelchair.
none of us needed
said,
Well,
it.
no, what makes it worse?
Over now.
What makes it worse? I mean, Kane coming back and being a heel, that just makes sense. He's going to be a heel, come back with that mask.
No,
so-
coming back with that mask, he should have been a babyface because everyone wants to root for Kane with the mask. But go ahead.
I didn't. I
I
did.
I was
I
saying,
did it. I was like,
I damn
I
sure
was like,
wouldn't
Mask
root for
Kane,
Kane in
but the mask
20
itself was stupid.
I mean, especially
Oh
with,
yeah,
that's-
mask.
Yeah,
Maybe
the
that
mask-
was
Was
Kane.
this
Whatever.
Mask over mask.
no, the mask
Oh,
over mask.
oh.
That was
Oh,
stupid.
he did have a mask over a mask. You're right. You're right. You're right.
But the way I looked at it is like Kane with the mask can come back. He's gonna be more evil. That's how I look. They're gonna book him like to be more vicious and evil, right? Which they were kind of doing to an extent, but they had to sacrifice Zack Ryder with that aspect. What makes it worse is Zack Ryder was chasing a girl that never wanted him, that he ended up getting anyway, just to turn on him again, bro. Like he didn't learn his lesson. Like she didn't want him. She made it clear she didn't want him. But then she started manipulating him where she was like, okay, Zach, I kind of want you now. Only for him to get kicked in the nuts at WrestleMania, bro. Like
At least we got the Hosky song.
The shot.
Yeah,
The shot of Eva making out with John Cena, and the camera pans to Zack Ryder in a wheelchair with flowers in his hand.
that was down
It's
bad,
the
bro.
saddest shot I have ever seen.
Down bad,
in
bro.
You know
wrestling
what's messed up, bro? I was a big Zack Ryder fan. I saw that. My dad was watching. He started bursting out laughing watching. I was so mad.
Bro, no, I ain't, because one of my homies, bro, shout out to Isaiah. He was a big. I honestly didn't care for Zack Ryder at the time, so I ain't really
That's
care too
crazy.
much for Zack Ryder.
I thought
One
he
of
was
my
cool.
friends was a
The
huge
true
Zack-
Long Island story, bro.
One of my friends was a huge Zack Ryder fan, bro. I remember we went to school the next day, bro. I was like, hey, bro,
That's my
so,
shit.
and with Zach, bro, what's going on with your man, bro? Can't get the girls, bro. Man, getting beat down by Kane, bro. He was tight, bro. He was so mad. He's like, bro, I don't understand what they doing with this, bro. I'm like, bro, I don't know, man. I don't understand it. But that was a bad story. That honestly was
Hey,
also a
might be
bad
right.
story where it didn't
Terrible.
benefit Zack.
Didn't
Ryder.
help anybody. Didn't help anybody.
Anyone.
It
And
did
that-
nothing.
that-
It
that-
literally did
Hey,
nothing.
what-
Turning Cena
hey,
heel, if anything.
Hey, what you mean?
Literally.
Cena literally got to finesse somebody girl and go main event. Cena was living.
Hey! Shout out to that promo Cena cut on Eve. That was cold. I ain't gonna lie.
No, that promo
That
was
was
fire.
cold.
It was fire, but
featured her, bro.
He-
like for long term booking, like that didn't benefit because Kane went on.
Honestly,
because
only
Kane
thing
didn't
that-
really suffer from it that much either. Because he went on to feud with Randy Orton. He beat Randy Orton at WrestleMania. So
yeah,
Kane
to be
really
honest,
didn't suffer too much.
One of the most.
I think the only person that
I
I think honestly the only person that really benefited long term was Eve because she turned heel from that.
Yeah.
And nobody was
Did she
asking
win the
for
Davis
that.
title?
Yeah.
Did she
Hey,
win?
I mean, hey, she was great. Hey,
Yeah, she did win the
Hey,
Divas title. Yeah,
wasn't-
she
She
did.
was
win the
an
Divas title.
underrated.
Wasn't she on
Underrated.
Team People Power?
No, she was on Team Teddy.
That's
She
how
was on Team Teddy. She turned heel that night. Remember?
She
Yeah,
turned heel
yeah,
Team
after
Teddy.
the match.
Johnny.
Oh wait, Teddy
And then
was
she
a heel?
turned on him.
She
No,
was
Teddy
on
was
the
a good guy.
babyface
No,
team,
she
and she
turned on the
turned
Teddy
heel.
team.
Then she turned. She
Zach
remember
was
she
on
got in the
Team
ring
Teddy.
with Zach. She was like, and he
Yeah,
was
so
like,
honestly, no. So
get out.
everybody involved in the story when it comes to Eve, John Cena, Kane, Zack Ryder's the only one that didn't benefit from it at all in any aspect, like any aspect, shape, or form.
No.
I don't know. I would
No,
argue
he
that Kane
disappeared.
and John Cena both started right here, and by the end of it, they were still right here.
Yeah,
I don't think it
yeah.
did anything for either of
I
them.
mean, it didn't benefit, but it's Kane and John Cena. I mean, those guys are.
They're fine.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's my point when we
Hey, but
spend
Zack
20
Ryder
minutes
said-
arguing over Brock Lesnar and The Rock.
Yeah, right
because
down the
I,
fucking ramp.
I think they would have been okay, but
Right
there-
off.
there was an
Because Zack
obvious
Ryder was
victim
like
to this.
Zack Ryder was like here, and he went. Ooh, he went.
Hey,
Hey,
Nah,
Mo,
he didn't.
hey, Mo, Zack Ryder was right here. After that angle, turn prime Jeff Hardy. Swanton bomb into the.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what did you guys have for? Let's move on to 2013. So 2012 was a bit of a different discussion. 2013, majority of the people, by a landslide, voted for Punk losing the WWE title to The Rock. That's what they felt that year.
Yeah.
That was what majority of the people had voted. I don't know if there's anything else that you guys want to bring up that year that you can remember.
Damian Sandow.
Yeah, I was about to say, didn't Damian Sandow win?
Should have been Cody. Should have been Cody.
No,
it should have been
he was
Cody.
hot.
But
should've
in
been-
fact, no,
it
because
should've
I really like Damian Sandow at the time, but it's the way he lost though, bro. Like he literally came out and beat
He
down
beat
John
up an
Cena for a
injured
minute,
man.
bro. Injured him and everything, only to lose to a one-armed John Cena, bro. They had a full match.
And they had a long match too.
They had a full
Oh,
match,
one-on-one
a full
AA.
match after the catch.
They had a full-on match, bro.
Bro.
Also, shout out, and
Here's
no
the thing.
one's. I don't think anyone's going to vote for this one because we ended up getting Yeselmania. But shout out to WWE doing everything they could to extinguish Daniel Bryan throughout the entirety of 2013.
I got one. Battleground.
Battleground.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's dumb. That's
The
dumb.
general.
But they did everything they could to throw cold coals on the fire that was Daniel Bryan and put that shit out. And then when it didn't work, they finally said, "All right, it was." I'm gonna say it this way. They finally gave us the "Here, naysayer, damn." They finally gave it to us. They gave us the "Here, naysayer, damn," and they gave the title to Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania.
That has to go on TikTok and Instagram.
That's what it was. Here, naysayer, damn.
Here, naysayer, damn.
Here,
And they gave
naysayer,
Daniel Bryan
bro.
the world title. But for the entirety of 2013, they beat that dude into the ground because they.
But
didn't
I look
wanna
at
do
it. I look at it though, like it all worked out. It all worked out.
Right, which is why I understand why no one voted for it. It worked out, but
I
still,
guess you
in
could
the
look at-
moment,
Yeah, no, in the moment. See, even in the moment though, I don't know if I was maybe looking at it the same way in the moment because I was looking. I figured at least before we figured that Daniel Bryan was going to face Sheamus and everything at WrestleMania. When I was just watching, I figured that the WrestleMania is going to be when they're giving him the championship. You know what I'm saying? Like if it at least it has to be that way. If it didn't go that way,
and then
oh
you
my
go
gosh.
back and look at it, and they were like,
So,
yeah, they definitely.
I mean,
weren't
I would
right.
definitely say the Damian Sandow one could definitely be up there because I loved the intellectual savior of the masses gimmick, bro. I was really into that
that was
gimmick.
good.
I didn't know what he was saying after promos.
I was into it as a mid card. I was into it as a mid card gimmick, but when he won that briefcase, I was like,
bro, he
One
could have
thing I wanna
easily
say
been
about
the
that
World Heavyweight
briefcase,
Champion,
though.
bro. The World Heavyweight
No,
title
one thing I want to say about
he
the
coulda easily
the
held
problem
championship.
was the problem was with that
But weren't
briefcase
they
that
still
year
doing
is
Raw?
basically the issue we had this year.
Mm.
They had no place for it because they were getting rid of the World Heavyweight title anyway. They were going to unify the belts, and Damian Sandow just wasn't going to be put in that position to unify the belts. So,
Shit, we didn't know that. At the
I
time.
mean,
oh yeah, they
look,
booked it terribly. The moment itself of Sandow losing was
Another one
Hey.
that was stupid to me, bro. Because long term, Fandango beating Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. Why?
and you know what? You know what?
I love
agitates-
Fandango.
You know what agitates me?
Bro,
the
he was
most
hot for
about-
2 weeks after that.
Hey, it was
Because he got
longer
hurt.
than
Because he
that.
got hurt.
Yeah,
He got hurt,
did get
that's why.
But
No, it
you
was
know what?
about 2 weeks, and then after that, it was over with.
No.
Like no, because let's be honest. When he beat Jericho at WrestleMania, how many of y'all really thought they was gonna do something with that afterward? Long term.
I thought it was gonna be an
Long term.
Intercontinental champion.
I thought
he was a perfect IC champion.
I
I thought
Long
he was a
term.
perfect IC champion.
The dancing gimmick, bro. Come on, bro.
Yes, I thought he was a perfect. I thought he was a perfect IC
Mid-card.
champion.
It was
they
a
didn't care
perfect
about the
gimmick, but
mid-card
long
title.
term, bro. No, I was like, it's
Bro,
gonna be gone,
he could have been a
And
mid
Tino
card.
Morella heard them.
But-
No, I'm not saying he couldn't have, but like long term, I'm like, bro, they're not gonna
Nah,
do it long
but
term.
no, the thing that makes me mad about that the most, it's not even the fact that Fandango beat Chris Jericho. You mean to tell me Fandango could beat him, but AJ Styles couldn't?
You said this so many times, and you're still cooking to this day.
Bro, AJ Styles couldn't beat Chris. Bro, because first off, because mind you, again,
Are we
you
talking
guys have to
about
understand.
WrestleMania or in general? Because he beat
No,
he
at
beat Jericho
WrestleMania.
before
No,
that. Okay,
because at WrestleMania, the first match. Because again, I say this all the time. Y'all gotta understand. I didn't watch TNA in that prime, right? I was in my own little bubble. So when he debuted, I'm like, okay, I don't really know who you are, but the crowd went crazy when you showed up. So hey, we here. They did that little Y2 AJ stuff. I was like, okay, I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
Broke it up immediately. I was like, oh, okay, guess this is the Mania match. When Chris Jericho pinned that man 1, 2, 3, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was over for him. I was like,
But
What?
you
Then he
have to
wins
remember
the
though, he
number one contender match.
beat Jericho at Fastlane though.
exactly.
He beat Jericho at Fastlane, so at least with compared to the Fandango situation, at least we knew that he could beat Jericho because he had done it. Jericho
didn't even know
Fandango,
they faced off
like,
at
this was
Fastlane.
Fandango's first match.
I didn't know they faced off at Fastlane either. I thought his first match was
No,
at
yeah,
WrestleMania.
at Fastlane, yeah, he
No,
made
Fastlane.
Jericho tap out at Fastlane.
And his
He
first
did?
Raw match,
Yeah.
yeah, his first Raw match, he beat Jericho too.
Yeah, he made Jericho
I
tap
didn't
out
know
at
that.
Fastlane.
Rumble.
He
The next night after the
did?
Rumble.
Yeah,
Well, I knew he
Crusher.
faced him.
With the
I knew he
Crusher,
faced him.
bro.
I didn't know he
He
beat
made
him.
him tap out at Fastlane. So
I did
Oh,
thought his first.
no,
thought
so by the time
wow.
WrestleMania come around, he already had beat Chris Jericho twice. So
Twice, yeah,
that
yeah.
already.
Oh, I did not.
So that
know
makes more
It's
sense.
still dumb.
Yeah,
Okay, so then I'm not. I mean, it's still a terrible decision, but okay, they didn't do.
Chris
sweeps
Jericho
at
got to
that
get his
time, though.
one back.
Yeah, I was
Chris
about to
Jericho like
say.
get his way back, but like this was Fandango's. Remember, they would always tease him wrestling, but they pushed it back. This was his first match, so I get realistically you would expect somebody to win their first match, but it's like, bro, no, it just
Fandango, bro.
there were certain
No, I
gimmicks.
thought
that,
Fandango was gonna lose. I'm not gonna lie.
no, there are certain gimmicks that you know have at least something, and certain gimmicks that you know are kind of just there for like goofy standards and probably don't have nothing like long term wise. Like this is one of those that I felt, bro. Like This man beating Jericho at WrestleMania, bro. Like, you couldn't find something Chris Jericho to do better at WrestleMania than face Fandango, bro. Like, they had RVD come back the next night. Why couldn't RVD come back before then and face Jericho at Mania? But cool with that.
RVD didn't come back the next night.
He came
RVD came
back
back at Money in the Bank. No, he came back Money in the Bank.
He came back Money in the Bank.
Oh no, that was 2014. I'm thinking of 2014.
Yeah.
2014. But like, you had RVD come back in that aspect that year. Maybe they could have booked it better. But I always said if you had did the triple threat at WrestleMania, right, between Rock, Cena, and Punk, right, you could have had Jericho face Undertaker at WrestleMania. The time the Trick was still alive, you could have had Jericho come back and.
But I mean,
I've heard that theory.
To be fair, guys, you have to put yourself back in that spot at that time. The way 2 years later that everyone in every sporting event around the world was saying yes, yes, yes. Before Daniel Bryan ran, Fandango was walking. Every time you saw a video from a sporting event or a concert or people in the street, they were doing this shit. So you gotta.
And you know what?
The only problem with Fandango is that he beat Jericho and then disappeared into catering for the rest of his career. Like the fall of Fandango from being
what I expected. I expected nothing less.
Nah. After beating Jericho, I thought
he could have won an IC title.
Bro,
it's
it's not even about the win, bro. It's mainly the gimmick that he had. I did not believe they were gonna do nothing with that dancing gimmick, bro, on television. I didn't care. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. I'm not talking about whether I liked it or not, bro. It's the fact that when they presented this gimmick, I'm like, bro,
you could have stretched it, bro.
This gonna last for a minute.
The reason why I kind of disagree with that is because in the history, they've seen people get over with stupid gimmicks as well, and they get a little mid-card title run.
I got kids.
I think Fandango would have been fine because Johnny Curtis is a charismatic dude. Like Fandango is a charismatic character. Like he was funny.
No,
like,
nice little character, nice wrestler.
He's weird. He could have easily been a comedy IC champion like Santino.
Who was the dancer that was with him?
It was some before. I don't remember who it was, but
I don't remember who it was.
Before Summer Rae, I don't know who it was, but it was Summer Rae too.
Oh, and then it was
I think it was Rosa Mendez.
I was gonna say Eva Mendes, but yeah, Rosa Mendez. Because then they had
that was after. That was way after he got.
Oh, that was way.
That was like 2015. Really? Yeah.
Was
it Layla? Was it Layla?
Oh my God!
Layla had a stretch.
No. It was Layla and Summer, because Summer and Layla they were like fighting over.
Let me just say, when he first got over, it was just some no name.
When
he first got over, it was like a real dancer, like a real ballroom dancer type person. So now to make it even worse, they had to learn how to. He didn't even know how to dance, bro. He had to learn how to even do stuff.
Then but Rosa Mendez was tango. He was a tango dancer.
Yeah, so they had to learn like stuff for like they basically Vince had a gimmick that he wanted so badly, and he was like, "I'm putting this on somebody." Put it on Fandango and gave him a name. He's like, "Bro, you got to learn how to dance."
Weird,
but it works.
That's wild, bro.
It works
for 2 weeks.
But the thing is, bro, you have to do house shows. You got to be on the road 300 days a year, and you got to learn how to dance, bro. That's
a cup of coffee.
But he could have won the IC side. I agree with these other.
I'm not saying that he could have.
I will say,
he could have been a nice little. He could have been a nice little IC US champion sometime. But I just knew, bro, they weren't going to do nothing.
Hey. Better than Disco Inferno. I'll say that.
Listen, I loved me some Disco Inferno growing up. I loved it. He got me good. I love Disco.
I mean, you're old as shit.
It was cool. And
Hold up.
It got a little popular, but
shade alert. What the fuck?
Yeah. Get him, Jay.
Hold up. I can't help when I grew up. All I know is, as much as everyone loved Heath Slater when he was jobbing out and doing fun shit, I loved Disco Fever. I fucking loved it.
I can see why a kid would like. Yeah, I can see why.
I'm saying, I can see why a kid would like.
Hey, speaking of, you know what? You know who I really liked as a kid? That obviously looking back was horrible. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I was a big Sin Cara guy. I'm not gonna hold you. I was a big Sin Cara guy.
I don't know. I was a kid, bro. Hey, bro, I was a kid. I
was just waiting for the Rey Mysterio Sin Cara feud. I was waiting for it.
Nah, facts.
I was dead waiting for it.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. I was waiting for it.
His first night, I was like, all right, bro, move.
I was ready for that too.
The entrance was fired. The entrance was fired and stuff. Like
he failed his entrance the first night. I was like, who the hell is this dweeb, bro?
Yeah. Hey, Sin Cara Negro, that wasn't fired.
I did like Sin Cara.
Sin Cara Negro. They had a SmackDown Mexico City.
Listen, I love Sin Cara after Hunico took over for him.
Yeah,
When Hunico took over, he was
facts.
I love the
facts.
Lucha Dragons. I love
Lucha
Hey,
Dragons is nice.
Hey,
Lucha
Malik,
Dragons
love
is
that.
nice.
I want to
Yeah.
as we move forward. Can I just guess real quick? And you don't have to tell me, but I just want to put in my official guess that the fan vote for the worst booking decisions for 14, 15, and 16 are all going to be the Royal Rumble. Are they all the Royal Rumble?
Oh no.
They're not all
It's
of them.
2014, Bray Wyatt.
2014, the fans voted Brock taking the streak. That's what they voted.
What? What? No,
That's not the worst. That's not the worst.
No.
That's not the worst.
Let me
That's
go.
what, what they felt. That's what they felt.
No, that's wrong. I'm sorry. Chad,
I
you're
have
objectively
vehemently
wrong.
said
It's not a bad choice because Brock wasn't the right guy to end the streak either. So
He
I
wasn't,
can
but it's not the
understand.
worst. It's not the worst.
There's other ones that I would say that are worse than that, but he wasn't the right guy.
But you can't look at what happened with Brock Lesnar afterward and say that was a bad decision. No way.
It's what
No,
Taker was. My issue with
I think
Taker.
Bray Wyatt. I think Bray Wyatt losing to Cena was worse than.
I do too.
Brock Lesnar.
I do too.
it was worse,
Brock
yes.
Lesnar.
Yes.
Yeah, bro. Because, I'm not gonna lie. Whatever little bit of aura, because mind you, the Wyatts was losing every feud before he got to Cena. They lost. Obviously, they lost the Shield one. They was losing. Bray Wyatt was
They
not
beat the
credible
Shield.
yet.
They
He didn't
beat
win
the
the
Shield
feud.
twice.
They didn't win the. They didn't win the feud, bro. I'm not gonna lie. They didn't win the feud.
They didn't lose
win
to the Shield.
They only had one match.
They had
They beat
two
the
matches.
Shield.
One on Raw, one on Elimination Chamber. They won both.
Oh, they had two. Yeah, they had two. Yeah, that's right.
You're talking about the
won
Shield
both?
versus Whites?
Yeah, they won both
Won
matches.
both.
They won both matches.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know.
I think they had a match on. I think they had
No.
a match on main event too.
No, the Wyatts won. Bray Wyatt lost the feud when he faced Roman
oh.
Reigns. That's
Oh,
why I
that
say
was
they
next-
lost.
that was
the
the
feud.
next
I think
Wait,
the
wait,
Shield
wait.
only. I think the Shield only won on main event. I think that's the only time they beat the Whites.
But see,
But
if you look at afterwards though, Bray was still in good positions because he won the feud with Jericho, had a little feud with Jericho afterwards. That was a nice little in between feud after that. So it's mainly just I feel like when you have these people lose these big matches that they should win, you have to really show that you're going to value them afterwards too, because you could lose a big match, but it all depends on what you get done with afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like long term, man. They did some nice little stuff with Bray long term, but then he eventually would have
All
to
he
reinvent
did was
himself.
losing, though. All he was doing, all these feuds you talking about, all he was doing was losing.
He won the
God.
Jericho feud though. Like they could have did something with that.
You don't win a couple here and there, but for the most part, bro, all that nigga did. The big thing about Bray Wyatt, he would come out. Hey, his presentation in the promo was great, but he come out, yap about nothing. Then he get to the match and look, bro. He lost to Smiley Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Mhm. Listen, two things.
That was
number
years
one.
later. Once that time came around, it was done. He was
Number
cooked.
one, again, Malik's followers, viewers, you guys are objectively wrong. That's just the wrong decision. That
No, they're
was
not. No, they're not.
that was Mo, shut up. Yeah, they are.
So
You're
you
objectively
Let me cook.
objectively
Let me
wrong.
cook.
You can go in a second.
Okay, yeah.
The Bray and Cena stuff was bad. I almost put in my vote for Bray and Cena, but the fact that we ended up down the road, we still got the Fiend and we still got some cool stuff out of Bray Wyatt later on down the road. It sort of helps alleviate that. My vote for 2014 is always going to go to the Royal Rumble, because the same way that things were changed around this year, and whoever you want to believe actually said we have to change this year. I don't believe for a fucking second that The Rock was the one that changed it. I think someone told The Rock, hey, Rock, we're changing it. And Rock said, okay, well, whatever. As long as you make it look like it was my idea. I think that's exactly what happened. I don't believe it was The Rock's idea. Nonetheless, whoever you believe was responsible for it, ultimately they did the right thing and they pivoted and they changed it. And I wish that Triple H would have had the balls to step up to Vince back then at the Rumble and say, hey, Vince, listen, I know Batista's coming off of these movies. I know Batista is popular, but you've got to look at what the crowd is doing when he comes out every week on Raw. He's getting booed. They don't want Batista. They don't want him. We can still do something big with him, but we need to put Daniel Bryan in this Rumble, and he needs to win it. The fact that not only did Daniel Bryan not win it, but they didn't even put him in there, and they had the gumption to trot out Rey Mysterio out there at number 30 to take the brunt of the heat and think, oh, Rey Mysterio sells masks every week. They're not going to boo Rey Mysterio. The fuck we're not. The fuck we're not going to boo Rey Mysterio. That Royal Rumble from top to bottom was an unmitigated, absolute disaster. And there was no saving it.
There's two things that I'm going to throw at the reason that they shouldn't be the worst booking decision of the year to me. Number one, keeping Daniel Bryan out of the Royal Rumble honestly benefited long-term best because it added more onto the story of the authority trying to screw him over, right?
Yep.
And number 2, realistically, if they had Batista just come out as a surprise that night, he would have got the biggest fucking pop of the year, bro. It's
I
the
don't know
fact
why
that
they-
they
I
He just
agree.
won that Rumble like that.
it's the fact that they announced his return.
I don't know why they did that
ahead
bro.
of time. And if
And
he
then
had,
kept him as a face.
if we had, because there are people out there who I've seen say, well, the dirt sheets. I wasn't reading dirt sheets, so I didn't know what was going on at the time. So let's say hypothetically, we're watching the Royal Rumble. We don't know what's happening. If number 28 had hit and you heard that Batista theme song and he came out, we would all been like, what the hell, Batista? Like we didn't know he was coming back, right? All they had to do was have Batista just be a surprise. Just have him be a surprise, right? If they still had him win afterwards, maybe it still have been a little controversial because Daniel Bryan was still going to get those reactions, so you couldn't
Wouldn't
deny
have
that.
got through that night.
But keeping
you
him
know-
out of the Royal Rumble benefited from the story that they ended up telling, which ended up having the best payoff they possibly
But you
could
know
have
what
at
would
that time.
you know what would have happened even if Batista comes out as a surprise? Same thing. He wins that next night on Raw because he came out
Maybe.
at 28, which means you have 2 more spots to get Daniel Bryan out here. 30 hits and it's Rey Mysterio. Yeah, that next night on Raw they're booing Batista the same.
And that's fine. He could turn heel the next night easily. Could at least turn him. He could have used that. He could have used
He
that
could
a
have
part
still
of
done
his.
that promo.
He
of
could because
what
he could have
happened
came
this
out
week.
as far as his gimmick, like expecting to be accepted and cheered, and then he could have been like, "Oh, that's y'all booing
That's
me,
how
bro."
y'all feel?
Like
Yeah, that's how
y'all not happy that I'm back. Oh,
Yeah.
they could have easily just pushed that narrative of him turning heel, and then especially when Daniel Bryan comes in and plays the factor and try to take that spot, Batista's not just gonna roll over and let that happen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
take the spot that I want. So it was a bad Rumble to from all booking aspects, especially that we know what happened afterwards, stuff like that. Because the only other person I think that would have gotten cheered, that would have won it, that would have been CM Punk. The only other guy at that time frame who would have been like, if he had won, I think the fans would have been upset Daniel Bryan didn't win, but I don't think they would have hated it.
They weren't gonna boo CM Punk, but at that point it was kind of like, well, damn, I guess now you could have did this forever ago. I guess.
I mean,
Yeah,
they cheered Roman Reigns at the end of that match.
Yeah. I mean, that was.
Oh, well, hey, though.
That wasn't
was
Big Dog
before.
Roman, yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
was
was
Shield
gonna say,
Roman.
Yeah, that was
he-
Shield Roman when we all
Yeah,
lost.
still Roman.
Yeah.
That next
But to
year,
be honest, though, I think the main reason so that they were cheering Roman at that time because
it
they
was
didn't want Batista
anybody
either.
but Batista.
Because of what
And-
Batista represented, because Daniel Bryan was the full-time workhorse that everyone respected,
Yeah.
and Batista was the part-time movie star that no one wanted to see when the Royal
I still
And I
it
find that
still
funny.
upsets me
Hey,
that
Jade,
they
I
didn't-
find
they
that
didn't
funny
announce
that
him
the
as
next
a-
year-
as a surprise though. Like I'm still upset they didn't have him come back as a big surprise in the Rumble because like when they announced his return, I was excited for it. I'm like, oh, Batista's coming back. This is cool. But like, if he had been a surprise in the Rumble, I feel like the reaction he would have got would have been so much better.
They should
But
put
yeah,
him and
too.
Brock in that Rumble and then have them do a face-off and make that the Mania 30 match. And then have Bryan win that Rumble.
Easily.
So what does Undertaker do?
John Cena? You could because
No, I'm not gonna lie.
And then have the Shield and the Wyatt
Hey,
family at
look,
WrestleMania 30.
I know you. Look, I know y'all say this all the time, but I'm gonna just keep it a bug, and I'm not even talking hindsight. I'm talking about in watching it live as a kid. There was a point in time where I said to myself, "They're never gonna do Cena Taker." If you didn't do it, what was it, 07 or if there was a year where it was like, "Look, this is your perfect opportunity." Oh, when Undertaker was staring everybody down, I get Batista, that was fine, cool. But there was like,
good
yo,
year.
you really could have did this if you wanted to. And I don't think Vince did because it's Taker and Cena. Somebody got to lose. And if Cena's going to be pushed as Super Cena, you don't want him beating the streak.
But in
This is at the
2014,
time-
Cena can
This
eat
is
an
in
L.
2014 though. So this
Yeah,
is
I'm
at the
saying
time when-
2014
L.
it would've
No,
been
but
perfect,
my
yeah.
point is, if they weren't
Or
going to
turn
do
Cena
it,
heel.
my thing was, if they weren't going to do it back when they was both kind of in their prime, I feel like it was never going to happen. I don't think they were ever, because at that point, Undertaker is pretty much already only being here once a year. He ain't
Yeah.
wrestling
I
full
mean,
time.
that's why it would have made.
So that's why I was like, yeah.
if
They're
they
not gonna
had
do it.
if they had did Batista versus Brock, Cena versus Taker, you could have did the Shield and the Wyatts at WrestleMania. That could have been the easy WrestleMania match for that group right there. Because the match they had at the Chamber was great. If that had happened at WrestleMania, oh
Put
my
at the
gosh,
WrestleMania.
great. I mean, one of the best WrestleMania tag team matches in history. And then whatever what happened with Daniel Bryan, you could have easily put him in there. Orton would have been champion anyway. If you want to make a triple threat with Batista, whatever. CM Punk obviously walked out, so you figure something out with Triple H in it. They wanted to put Triple H in there and make it a fatal four-way. I wouldn't even care about that
And-
aspect because everybody had a
As
reason.
long
to
as
be in it.
Daniel Bryan wins at the end.
Yeah.
And by the way, listen, Batista ultimately did the right thing. He ate the submission for Daniel Bryan. He did the job for Daniel
Told
Bryan.
them to turn him heel before
Exactly. I'm not blaming Batista for any of this. Once everything happened, Batista immediately recognized what was happening and said, "Hey, yo, Hunter, we got to change this up. As far as rebooking WrestleMania 30, I honestly think as good as WrestleMania 30 was in hindsight, could have been a lot better if they had changed around. I don't know if I would have done Batista and Brock because styles make fights. I don't know if that would have been interesting. I was much more interested in maybe John Cena throwing Batista out of the Rumble, and then we get a Batista-John Cena rematch at WrestleMania. I was much more interested in that than I was anything else. I still would have done Brock versus Taker, and then I would have done Batista versus Cena.
Was Cena even in that
Would
Rumble?
you have still broken
No,
the streak?
he fought Randy Orton at the
Yeah.
Rumble.
But he could have been. I mean,
He could've been.
Would you have still broken the streak that night?
I ultimately
If he had
believe
turned
in hindsight that, in the moment I can see how hard the decision must have been. But if Taker is standing there telling you Brock's the guy, and if Brock is standing there telling you I'm willing to do it, and if you've got Paul Heyman right there to push Brock to the next level, I ultimately think they made the right decision.
But Taker didn't
agree with that either.
Yeah, Taker didn't think Brock was the guy.
They didn't decide that. They didn't decide it until Taker got to the arena that night.
Yeah,
They
because
told him
Undertaker
that
talked
day.
about it many times on the
Right.
podcast. He didn't.
But
It was a Vince decision, but obviously he was going to do whatever Vince wanted.
right, but here,
he didn't agree that Brock was the guy.
okay, so even if we take that out of the equation, then we have to talk about what happened during the match. I mean, we all know what happened during that match. Taker doesn't even remember 75% of it. So it's hard even talking about that match because of everything that went down during the match and the state of Undertaker and everything like that. But I don't know. I completely judge that decision in retrospect, and seeing, ultimately shit happened this last year with Brock, and it's such a fucking shame that has to be tied to his legacy because Brock's one of the best to ever do it. But looking at everything that happened from 2014 to 2023 with Brock Lesnar, I just have a hard time defending the opposite side of it because Brock Lesnar became one of the greatest. He was already borderline Hall of Fame, and then after beating Undertaker, the run he went on made him one of the greatest of all time.
I'll explain why the streak didn't need to. I don't think the streak should have ever been broken, number one. Number two, I don't think Brock should have been the guy to do it. Number one, Brock Lesnar could have, anytime, because he's Brock freaking Lesnar, could have become that monster whenever he wanted. Yes, the streak ending gave him the boost to do it. But again, it's Brock Lesnar. He could have done that at any point. The second thing, especially if we're using hindsight, the rest of Undertaker's career was the saddest thing, one of the saddest things I've ever seen in professional wrestling. It was, bro, if they were going to break the streak, that's it. Done. End his career. Don't come back. That's it. That's the last visual we see of the Undertaker.
Especially because the next year, he fought the guy that, in my opinion, should have been the year prior.
Could have potentially done it.
Was Bray Wyatt.
Well, that would have been a little bit more okay.
I've said on the podcast before, Mo, I don't 100% disagree with you because I'm on record and I still believe this. I don't think the streak should have ever gotten to the point that it got to, quite honestly. I think Batista should have ended the streak when Batista was at his height because I think that would have pushed Batista to new levels. So I don't think, but considering the fact that the streak did get to that point, I don't think, and again, now considering what you just said, that the fact that the Undertaker after that was a shell of himself. Now, whether that had anything to do with the match itself or maybe Father Time just caught up with him, but you're right. There's no doubting that after 2014, the Undertaker was a shell of what he used to be. Again, looking at it in retrospect, that was probably the perfect time to do it because anybody that ended the streak after that was just going to look like they were beating up on a sad little old man. So if the idea was always for the streak to end and it got to that point, then yeah, I'm okay. And I don't blame anyone, I guess, for voting for that because it is such a such a thing where it's seen from both sides. I just think there was so much worse stuff that happened in the build up to WrestleMania that year. I don't see it.
For sure.
That's fair.
But also too, what's it called? When it comes to Undertaker, not Undertaker. We talk about that Rumble. Jade, you mentioned it how they were cheering Roman because it was anybody but Batista. I find it funny that a year later they was cheering everybody because it was anybody but.
Yeah.
Let's get to that. Let's talk about
anybody but Roman.
Let's talk about 2015 because we know the answer.
So 2015 actually wasn't voted for the Rumble.
Wow, really?
People in
What are these
2015,
idiots voting for?
2015 people voted Triple H beating Sting at WrestleMania.
No.
The worst.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. That was bad.
Bad.
That was
bad.
bad. But
The
it's
worst.
not.
I think honestly the reason that's so bad for me too is because I don't know if y'all felt the same way, but that really to me was like Vince like stamping like I can't
Oh,
do
he's
WCW.
he was sticking it in
killed
and twisting it.
WCW,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
because that was the one guy he could never get for years was Sting. He could never get Sting for years, and even though Sting was in his 50s and old past his prime, I felt like he knew we wanted Undertaker versus Sting. He put Triple H in there. Triple H is his son-in-law, the company guy, right? He's been the company guy for years. And when he lost, because Triple H loses to everybody at WrestleMania. So you're like, oh, he loses to Sting. And Triple H can lose at WrestleMania. He loses to everybody at WrestleMania, right? Then he beat Sting, and then they shook hands afterwards. To me, that was like Vince saying, I own WCW, and I killed the company, and I want everybody to know it. That's how I felt. I'm like, oh, he
Shit
really
died 14 years ago, dog. Let it
Right,
go.
I'm like, bro, get a go. Let it go. bro.
You won the war. You
that ego massive, bro. He's
I mean,
like,
y'all saying let it
Undertaker.
go. How long did it take him to turn Roman Reigns heel? Like that man is, and we
Yeah, 'cause
hey
Vince
Nate,
is a
we
quack.
talk about how stubborn Triple H is. Where you think he got it from?
Yeah, Vince is hella stubborn, bro.
I've ever seen in my life.
but I mean, we can backtrack to 2015 Rumble. One thing I want to point out and talk about, I never hated the fact that Roman won that match. It was how they structured the match to be booked and how it made Roman Reigns, how they made the fans really turn on Roman, because you can't have Daniel Bryan come in so early and then get eliminated so early and expect the fans to be okay with that. And then towards the end, you had Big Show and Kane, the Authority, simultaneously dump out 3 fan favorites in a row like they were trash. Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, and Bray Wyatt. Three eliminations in a row from those guys. They dumped them out of the ring like they were doo-doo, bro. Only for Roman Reigns to come and have to save the day. Even when The Rock come out, bro, The Rock got a big reaction. But when they realized what The Rock was here for, they was like, oh my gosh, bro. Like this is worse, bro. Like, so I never hated the fact that Roman won, because I think most of us going into it expected either Daniel Bryan or Roman to win the Rumble. But it's how they structured it, bro. It's how they structured the entire match, bro. Like no way they sat in the creative meeting and said, "This is how we're gonna do this." It's the perfect way to do it.
No, I'm with you, Malik, because I'm not voting for the decision to put Roman over, because I think ultimately, I mean, again, unless they were gonna put Daniel Bryan over, and by the way, because of how 2014 went with Daniel Bryan's injuries and because of how unsure they were, I don't blame them for not putting Daniel Bryan over in that Royal Rumble in that case. No, absolutely not. So Roman Reigns maybe was the right decision. Maybe you could argue Rusev, but I don't think Rusev was ready for that spot. But no, you're absolutely right. When I vote for that, I'm not voting for the decision to put Roman Reigns over. They put a career's worth of obstacles in one match for Roman Reigns.
It was the nail in the coffin.
They went way too far, and then you're exactly right. They sent in Kane and the Big Show. And Kane and the Big Show didn't have those dastardly heel heat. They had get these fuckers off of my TV screen.
Please retire.
And they went in there, and again, I got to say this again, because I don't know if you guys understand how popular Ambrose, Ziggler, and Bray Wyatt were at that time. They were the
coming off of the Survivor Series, right?
Yeah, yes. They were the 3 saving graces of a very, very, very weird time for WWE in 2015. And then within Malik, wasn't it within like a 2-minute span, back to back to back? They
eliminated Bray Wyatt first. It was the MVP of the Rumble. He had lasted like majority of everybody in the match, and then Ziggler came. Ziggler was first, and then Wyatt afterwards. And Ambrose and Reigns had a little interaction. Ambrose lasted a little bit longer because him and Roman teamed up to fight the Authority, but then eventually they dumped him out like 3 minutes later. So and
then to let Roman Reigns have over half the Rumble off, selling an injury through a table, only for him to come in and pull a Super Cena. That was 2016. That was 2016, where he where he left. Yeah, that was fucking.
Because he started at number 1.
Yeah. 2020. This
that was the one time they could have showed him to be an actual Iron Man.
Yeah,
that was the one time they could have showed him to be an actual Iron Man.
Yeah,
But nope. Let's take him out in the middle of the match.
Yeah, and then they had to do Roman and Daniel Bryan in the rematch or in a match at Fastlane. So
Hey, that match was great.
It was good.
It was a good match, but it was like they knew they messed up, so they had to do something. You know what I'm saying? So
And then, like you said, that final scene at the end of it, where The Rock raises Roman's arms and goes, "Wait a minute, what the fuck is going on?" That image will forever live in my brain.
I think The Rock knew when he was holding him up, and he was like, "Yeah, they're not gonna." I mean, because he's leaving afterward, but he was like, "They're not gonna like this, bro." Like,
missing about this whole thing, when Daniel Bryan gets eliminated, and the next thing they show on the Titantron is Shattered Dreams.
Shattered Dreams. Honestly, bro, it just
cinema.
In hindsight, bro. In hindsight, bro, it really was bad for Roman Reigns because like Mo said, that was the
nail.
They never accepted Roman Reigns as a babyface after that. Never.
Because wrestling fans hold a grudge.
Yeah, if that doesn't happen, I don't know if they would have booed Roman if they would have reacted to him the way they did. But the fact they mess up that Royal Rumble and they booked it the way it did, they never accepted Roman as the babyface because they knew he was the next guy. They knew it. He's the guy.
Because at that point, just like that's why I referenced what happened the year before. They were booing Batista because they knew Vince was trying to push him over the guy they wanted. And Roman, even though it was more so getting cheered because anybody but Batista, Roman was still in the Shield at that point. So he was still
and they loved Roman Reigns in the Shield.
Yeah, loved him in the Shield. So then when it gets to that one, and it combined with the fact, like, honestly, let's just say in an alternate timeline, multiverse, Roman Reigns is not in that Royal Rumble. Daniel Bryan get him eliminated. Anybody who would have won would have got. Maybe. Actually, I lied.
They made it worse.
Dolph Ziggler, and Dean probably.
Ziggler, Wyatt, and Ambrose. Anyone of those three
made it worse.
Yeah, but they turned on the Rumble once he got eliminated. Like if you remember watching, they was shitting on everything in that Rumble.
I've never seen a Rumble die so fast on elimination.
You know what the biggest problem with all of that was is that you knew the winner was going to face post Undertaker Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and no one believed any of those guys, including Roman Reigns, was going to go to WrestleMania and beat Brock Lesnar. That was just a weird Rumble. Anyway.
You know what's so crazy? Because I do my best to try to remember how I felt in the moment. I'm not gonna lie. I dead thought Roman was winning because I thought they were pushing him that way to be the next Super Cena. So I was like, I thought he was winning. And then especially, and credit to them, because remember, this is one of the one long shows where everything's on the same card. Mm-hmm. I ain't think Seth, obviously, I don't think anybody did. I don't think it was on the dirt sheets. But Seth Rollins cashing in, I was like, oh.
That was decided during the show.
I was like, oh, that's how you're going to get around. I can get with that.
This was almost a decade ago, right? So we got to remember, this was 2015. Yeah. This is before Big Dog. This is before Roman Reigns had any accolades to his name as a singles guy. And this is Brock Lesnar coming off the streak, conquering Super Cena, and being the most dominant guy walking on the earth, right? So going into that WrestleMania, I felt like Roman Reigns wasn't on that level yet. I'm like, I don't believe he's a WrestleMania main event guy yet, especially facing a Brock Lesnar. This was a one-night WrestleMania too, mind you. So I'm like, this is kind of weird. I don't know how they're going to make this happen because I do believe it was time for Brock to lose the championship, but I didn't think Roman was the guy to beat him for that title at the time.
Who else was?
I didn't know what they were gonna. I didn't know what they were gonna do. So at the time, and I don't know who else.
I thought it was gonna be. I
heard a quote on this. I heard a quote on this situation with going into WrestleMania 31. Someone said they booked themselves into a corner and then booked their way out of it perfectly.
Oh yeah, because I will say going into that match, I wasn't really invested too much in that match, but that match was incredible. That match was so good. That main event was great. The cash in was the icing on the cake. Perfect ending to that WrestleMania. I'm like,
that cash in took it from a above average WrestleMania to one of the most highly thought about WrestleMania.
And when you think about it, we talk about that cash in, right? Because for me, I remember going in like, all right, y'all just came off of Mania 30 with two of probably the biggest moments that you're ever gonna have. Anytime they have a WrestleMania package, you're gonna see that face of the guy when they broke the streak, and you're going to see Daniel Bryan with the confetti. It's a miracle on Bourbon Street. Obviously, it's I always compare it to Michael Jackson, Thriller, and Bad. You're not going to top Thriller, but you can still come out with some heat for Bad. How are you gonna do that? And I feel like the
They top
cash
Mania 30.
I feel like, I mean,
Because what
in
I-
hindsight, yeah, but I'm talking about the moment.
what
Talking
I
about
had
the moment.
heard-
That cash in was like amazing, and so that's why I asked you, Malik, because you said you didn't think he was gonna win. At that time, I'm like, well, they got Roman. Who else is gonna beat him?
I'm gonna tell you what I had always heard the original plan was. So when Cena had got conquered at SummerSlam, that was supposed to be Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was supposed to get beat down by Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, and that was supposed to push the agenda for Daniel Bryan to beat Brock at WrestleMania, like the underdog, babyface, getting destroyed by the Ultimate Beast, and then they were going to build Bryan up, have him win the Rumble, and then he was going to beat Brock at, like, he couldn't overcome Brock and then finally overdo it because they still loved Daniel Bryan at that time. So that's what I always heard was the plan before Daniel Bryan had got injured.
I think, honestly, in my opinion, I think that's what maybe certain people wanted. I never personally believed Vince was going to treat Daniel Bryan.
That's
right,
what I was going to say.
It took pulling eggshells.
It's hard to see.
And honestly, someone leaving your company for you to finally give him the moment. It's not like, honestly, go ahead, Nate.
I was going to say, and I mean, I heard about him losing to Brock SummerSlam. I never heard he was going to get it back at Mania. I thought that was just
I never heard that part.
Yeah, that's what I've always heard. I mean, we don't know. The plans changed all the time in WWE back then, so I mean, they could have changed the narrative all the time. Now, I think it would have been a beautiful story if they did that. I think that'd been an incredible,
great.
That's the thing I'm saying. It's too beautiful. It's too beautiful for Vince to come up.
Yeah. So
for
I don't know.
The second half, I don't.
Daniel Bryan getting 2 Mania main events back to back again,
and winning. Nah, I don't.
And winning both of them.
I believe him losing to Brock.
Would have been insane, bro.
The Brock one losing SummerSlam, I believe, but I don't believe the WrestleMania.
At least I got my favorite match out of the
narrative because I think after that, they made Daniel Bryan into a star after that. Even after he came back, they still treated him right. The WWE Championship run that he had as a heel was great and stuff like that. So
What year was that? Because when he first came back,
2018, 19.
He came back in 2016. But
yeah, because
he came back in 2018.
Yeah, because after the WWE Championship run, I felt like they gave him the IC title because it was like, I think that IC title win that ladder match was like a here nigga damn.
Here naysayer damn.
Well, I think they always they kind of knew he was on his way out too, though. Like he kind of made it obvious because he was cutting promos like for a while, like hinting like I could be leaving when he was going up to that WrestleMania, like this could be my last WrestleMania ever. And when
I think he was saying that because he wanted to leave. He wanted to leave the company.
Yeah. That's why I think afterwards, like they kind of were just doing stuff with them and stuff like that. So I mean, and honestly, they could have did him dirty leaving though. I mean, him doing stuff with Roman was a good way to send him off, and it was good for what Roman needed at that time frame to. Because you've seen a lot of people who knew they were leaving. They got done dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wait.
Are y'all talking about 2021?
Oh, we're talking about 2021.
I'm talking about when he left, like after he got injured and came back. Like they treated him pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about after he had to vacate the title because he got
yeah.
Back then, when he came back, I feel like they gave him the IC title to be like, here, nigga, damn. And
I think they were going to build the IC title.
I think they were going to. I think they wanted
to.
Basically, what they did with Cena. Basically, what they did with Cena.
I think SmackDown was supposed to be the IC title show.
Yeah,
I think that's what.
And I think honestly that could have been Vince kind of testing it. Like, I'm gonna give you the mid card title. Let's see if you can last with it. Because if I want to put the world title on you, I don't want the same thing. And he got hurt again. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of because he didn't have the IC title that long either. It was kind of the same.
Yeah, because he had to change his wrestling style. So.
Yeah. So
that retirement was sad, man.
26.
You want
to go ahead.
Well, let me just jump in because we don't have any food in the house. I'm gonna have to hop out here and take my family out to eat in a minute. But these fan votes are a little bit Mickey in my opinion, and I want to make sure that my opinions get out there. I want to make sure they get heard. So I'm just gonna drop these here. You guys can discuss them later, and I'm gonna go back and watch and see if you guys agree with me or not. 2016 was Triple H winning the fucking Royal Rumble just to put Roman Reigns over. That should have never happened. 2017 was Roman Reigns not turning heel after he beat The Undertaker. One of the biggest mistakes they ever made. 2018 was Constable Corbin. 2019 was The Fiend versus Seth Rollins. 2020 was
Constable Corbin's crazy.
2020 was Goldberg versus The Fiend. I have to make sure I get all of those out.
Wait, before you leave, Jade.
2017.
So you mean to tell me? Wait, so you think Constable Corbin was worse than Lacey Evans in the main event?
Yes.
Absolutely.
No, that was 2019. 2019. Lacey Evans' main event was 2019. That was 2019.
No, it was the same time. Constable Corbin.
No, Constable Corbin
No,
It
was
2018.
continued into 2019.
and 2019
was
like, he
Constable
already
Corbin
back
not
away.
fighting for?
No, he was. His
2019.
power
Constable
was already
Corbin
gone
was
by
was
2019.
around for a hot minute at the time though, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was not. It was just.
He
like,
debuted in 2018. That's when he shaved
Yeah.
his head and came out
Yeah.
and everything. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was the worst. So I got to go, but I'm going to come back and watch. I want to see what you guys
Constable
say
Corbin,
about that.
man. Constable Corbin.
Constable Corbin.
Look,
2019, bro, there's
crazy.
so many bad things you can point out.
I can't wait to get to 2017.
Bro, it's really.
Oh,
That's
what
why I
year
want
are
to
we
make
on?
sure I got it out.
Yeah,
Are we
so,
on
so
2016 now?
2016 wasn't what Jade had voted for.
What is it? I just want to hear.
The fans voted for Zack Ryder losing the IC title.
I got to go.
Wow.
That's bullshit. I got to go. You guys are so
No.
Mickey.
I mean-
I'm getting out
I
of
mean-
here. This is insane.
I mean,
that was bad.
That was bad. That was honestly that was pretty bad though. That was pretty bad, bro. That was
That was
pretty bad.
terrible. Yeah, that was. They did my dog dirty.
Wait. Hey, I'm sorry. Wait, because before we stay on 2016, what year was Suffering Succotash? Because we didn't mention that.
2015.
That was 2015.
2015.
Building to the
yeah.
Rumble.
That's a line. That's a.
Yeah,
That's what made it worse.
That's a line.
2016,
That's a
2020
line.
Zack Ryder one, I will defend because that was pretty bad. Because number one, none of us, I didn't expect him to even win that ladder match, and then the fact that he won it, I'm like, this is great. The next night they were like, "Yep, we're taking that away from you." So
Give me that.
You had your
That was
moment, but
stupid. They could
it
at
was
least, they could at least
bad,
give
but
him
not
a
the
month.
worst.
They could at least give him.
it's up there. It's up there. It's definitely up there because
hey, Christian,
because as soon as the Miz came out and they announced that he was going to get a match for the title, I was like, they're gonna have him lose, aren't they? Like they're gonna have him lose the next night after he won that.
ahead.
title.
I felt it, bro. Yeah.
Like that was so that's
pretty
that's why I would say it's bad. Because,
Hindsight that led to one of the greatest
and then
intercontinental champions of all time.
I mean, it
That
led
is true.
for Miz to have a great extra title run, but once again, we talked about Zack Ryder before. It did nothing for him long term at all. Like he went back
No.
to doing nothing after that, which is crazy. So
The hype bros for a little bit.
I'm not gonna lie,
hype bros.
Don't bring up Mojo Rawley.
bro.
Don't bring up that Mojo Rawley, bro.
Rawley, bro.
The hype
That
bros.
debut was hilarious.
bum, bro,
At Battleground,
that
that
bum.
was
And
so funny.
mind you, I wasn't watching
Nobody
NXT.
cared.
I still wasn't watching NXT, so to know that they would, when I went back and rewatched it and saw them down there, I'm like, bro, y'all wasn't even over in
Boo-boo.
NXT.
It was boo
Like,
boo.
y'all garbage.
What did y'all have for 2016? What did y'all put?
I'm gonna build off what Jade said. Triple H and Roman Reigns just being the main event of WrestleMania that year. They should have done anything else.
Yeah.
As opposed to who?
But well, to be honest though, I mean, you got to look at the
Ambrose and
hindsight.
Reigns, Ambrose and Triple H could have been done.
Well, wasn't that the year was supposed to be Seth, but he got hurt?
Yeah, Seth Rollins.
I think it was supposed. I think it was
going
supposed
to
to
be
be.
the Shield
Seth
triple
and
I
threat.
think it was good. Yeah, the Shield triple threat. I think that was technically
Or that.
supposed to be the main event.
Yeah.
So
Because they
I'm
had
not
Seth-
gonna tax it too much.
I feel like
because Roman Reigns was always going
Yeah.
to be. The
no,
main
that
event.
WrestleMania
Yeah.
could have been saved.
I
That
feel-
WrestleMania could have been saved, regardless.
I feel like
Oh, there's
yeah.
one.
Yeah,
there's
I
one
feel
that
like
mentioned too.
that Shield trip happened twice at WrestleMania.
Yeah, the Shield triple threat.
2019, yeah.
But you know what was worse than actually the Triple H and Roman Reigns stuff? The Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose stuff. To me, that was way worse. The fact that the buildup was so lackluster, and then
pretty
you found
stupid.
out afterwards that Brock didn't even care about it, and that he was being all
Oh, that
mean
was
and stuff. Not to mention that was
Terrible.
supposed to be Bray
The,
Wyatt.
well,
It
the
was
match,
supposed to be Bray and Wyatt.
the match. The build-up
Yeah,
was
the
good.
match was. Yeah, the match was crazy.
Nate, I just want to let you know you are kind of lagging. You're very much behind.
Crazy laggy.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
behind,
I-
bro. So you might want to
yeah,
come
you're-
back.
And then Brock just didn't want to work with Bray, just in general. I'm liking.
Wow.
That should have been the match at 32.
This man is crazy delayed.
Robot over there, boy.
That was like 25 seconds delayed.
Yeah, the delay is crazy, bro. The delay is wild.
The Wi-Fi is fried.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
delay
that's
is
tough.
wild.
But yeah, 2016. I mean, yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Uh,
I would say, I mean, with Seth being injured, Randy Orton being injured, John Cena also not being able to wrestle the WrestleMania, I feel like it would have been a lot better because they would have had better options, and they still could have had better options. But I'm looking at like what they were going to do for the main event of WrestleMania. Roman Reigns was always going to be there, so I mean, it didn't matter who he was going to
Reigns
face.
and Ambrose.
Reigns and Ambrose would have
They
been cool,
weren't
but
gonna
they
do that though because that's two faces.
they ain't
You gotta
valued
understand.
Ambrose.
Vince
That's
ain't
the
doing that,
problem. But we could say that, but it's
Yeah,
stupid.
but this is Vince.
Nobody
so we
wanted
have to
Reigns and
think
Triple
about it.
H.
Okay.
Nobody wanted Reigns,
Yeah, you
period.
should've
If we're
did that.
keeping it a buck.
Oh no, you
30
still
no,
behind, bro.
especially not for 30 minutes. That match was too long. If they did like a 15-minute sprint,
No, that match was hella too long. That match was hella.
yeah, if
too
they did like a
It's
15-minute,
It's Triple H. That's what he does.
yeah, that's his problem.
When's
That's
the
my
last
one
time Triple
drawback.
H had a sprint?
Yeah, that's my one issue with Triple H in his career. Get
Long
the match
matches,
over
bro.
with, dog.
long matches. 2017.
Can we be real?
G will actually like this one. They voted for Samoa Joe not beating Brock Lesnar.
Because he should have beat Brock Lesnar, and I will stand on that to this day. They should have called the audible and said, you know what, this man is hot. I would have even been cool if he lost it in the Fatal 4-Way, because bluntly stated, I thought it was going on Roman. I thought the Fatal 4-Way was to put it on Roman so Brock didn't have to get pinned.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe should have won the Universal title at Great Balls of Fire. One of the only few things we remember about that stupid pay-per-view, only other thing we remember is Alexa Bliss dislocating her arm in front of everybody. Samoa Joe should have won because the build was spectacular and the start to the match. This was the start of Brock Lesnar turning into Prime Super Cena, as in, I'm going to get beat down for 95% of the match. One F5, I win. That's literally when Samoa Joe came out and said, you escaped me, and he tried to act like I whooped your ass. Bro, Brock Lesnar, were you on heroin? Were you doing drugs? Because the same match I watched saw you get your ass beat and put through a table for 95% of that match until you hoped up, injected yourself with some IV fluids, F5 and won. I hope y'all know that was the start of Brock Lesnar, because then he was getting taken out of matches for 90% of it because he didn't want to work. Come back, German suplex F5. He did it to freaking Braun Strowman in this. What are we doing? This man would literally get beat for 95% of the match. And then F5. When it's Brock Lesnar, let's be real. How many people on that roster at that time, or even now, do you genuinely believe in a one-on-one fight would dominate Brock Lesnar? The only person that did it was Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez. Nobody else on that roster. Maybe. And honestly,
There's only two people.
I can't even
Only
say
two
Braun
people.
Strowman because he got rocked. Brock Lesnar rocked that nigga, had him stumbling.
That was 2018. That was 2018. This is before.
No, I'm just saying that. I'm just saying, period. Like, I'm saying any roster. I don't know somebody. I'm sorry. Maybe Bobby Lashley. Lashley, I would believe that they could actually have a one-on-one scrap. Nobody else on that roster, I believe, can actually beat Brock Lesnar, let alone dominate him for 95% of a match to where he has to escape. Yet Samoa Joe made it believable, and you didn't put the title on him. And then what did you do with Samoa Joe after that? After, again, his genius having one of the best feud builds with AJ Styles later on, Wendy, and he lost to him 4 fucking times. Cannot stand the fact
4 times is crazy, bro.
4 times.
Can I say this now?
So NBA Finals.
I was gonna crash out, but I'm gonna calm down.
Swept. Oh my god.
G, listen, the Samoa Joe loss was fucking stupid. I'm with you there. Goldberg beating Kevin Owens was fucking stupid as well.
Oh
Yeah,
it was.
But let's tell the truth here. The real answer,
That's not my answer, actually.
and shout out to him because I rock with the guy himself, was Jinder Mahal becoming the WWE champion. And I need us to stop pretending like it's otherwise.
No, that's not my answer either. That's not my answer either.
I mean, it's just
League.
the US.
I'm not saying the
US
decision was
title,
great because he literally wasn't he wasn't even doing anything on TV like a couple months before that. Like
That's
he
the
wasn't even-
problem. That's
the only
the
thing-
problem.
That's
the
the
only thing that
That's the problem.
the only thing that annoys me about that is because that should have been Sami Zayn. And the way they set up that little 6-pack challenge, the way they set up that little whatever it was, the Fatal 5-Way 6-pack challenge that they had on SmackDown to be the number 1 contender, looked like it was setting up for Sami Zayn. And then they did it with Jinder.
Yeah,
We could have got Sami Zayn Shinsuke on the main roster.
But
Like,
even after Jinder won, none of us really thought he was going to beat Randy Orton at all. People, you know what I'm saying? Like at back,
That's the fucking
Beat
problem.
him like 3 times.
beat him 3 times in a row. Yeah,
fucking
3
problem.
times in a row. So
Jinder
I didn't really,
Mahal.
I didn't dislike Jinder Mahal as champion. Though, to be honest, it didn't bother me.
I gave it a chance. I gave it a chance. I gave it a chance. When he won, when he initially won, I sat. So let me.
It didn't bother me, bro.
When he initially won, I sat
it didn't
there
bother me.
watching the TV. I was like, Okay. I was like, all right, you know what? They've made weird decisions before, but they've made them work before. I'm going to let them cook on this. They did the Punjabi celebration. No, they did the Punjabi celebration. I'm like, you know what? That was cool. I like that. That was cool. So, okay, I'm going to give this thing a chance. His presentation, great. But then the fucking reign continued. When he beat the match with Randy Orton and Money in the Bank was the same fucking match. Just his dad was involved. Same fucking match. And then after that, the Punjabi Punjabi prison with Great Khali. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. With Great Khali coming out in one of the worst main events that Jinder Mahal himself has said fucking sucks. The Punjabi prison as a concept fucking sucks. It's stupid. Yeah. Never do it again. But please, never ever do it again. And then you have him, and I won't say this buried Shinsuke. I won't say it because it didn't. But to resort to racism to build heat. Yeah, in 2017?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Are you kidding? That was 16. Yo, Rook the 17. same.
Wait, are we on 16 or 17?
17.
No, we're on 17.
17,
Yo,
bro.
Rook
17,
the same.
bro.
Are you serious?
Terrible.
In 2017,
Terrible.
we're doing this now.
Freaking terrible.
Yeah, it was
freaking terrible.
Bro, I since I had been watching WWE, I hadn't missed one episode of Raw or SmackDown. That was the week during that title reign. I said I'm going to take a break.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I've been watching faithfully weekly episodic TV, Monday Night Raw and Friday Night. Maybe not NXT. I have never missed an episode. Even I'll DVR it. I'll come back to it. But
I'll skip through some stuff.
2 weeks. Yeah,
for sure.
I didn't do it.
So Malik, you remember back in them old women's matches? You like, all right, let me get to the last 3 minutes because I know how this goes.
Yeah, no, I would always DVR the shows. Those were the 2 weeks I said I'm not even gonna watch.
Listen, Jinder Mahal winning the title wasn't a great decision either. I mean, it didn't bother me for most part. For me, bro, you talk about Samoa Joe. I will forever say Braun Strowman not beating Brock Lesnar. That pissed me off so much.
That's another dumb one.
That pissed me off so much, bro. Especially how they were building Braun Strowman up for that whole year. They fed him to Roman Reigns, and he won the feud against Roman. That got him even more over the fact that he was the guy to take down the guy that the fans said they didn't want. They built him up so perfectly, bro. They were protecting him right, doing all the right things with him. All they had to have him do was just beat one guy. Beat one guy. That whole build up to No Mercy, Brock Lesnar was getting dominated. He could be. Remember that the episode of Raw when he suplexed Braun Strowman, he popped back up, and everybody was like, "Oh shit!" Like, bro, all they had to have him do was beat one guy, and his career would have been made forever. And then you talk about what they did to Samoa Joe. In fact, Braun Strowman couldn't kick out of one F5 either. He lost to one F5. One F5
after all that build. They had him
one F5
over.
And
he got hit with a car.
You know how many finishers Brock Lesnar took in that match? Took 3. He took 3 of Braun Strowman's finishes.
He took 3
finishes. He took 3 power slams in that match and kicked out. And Brock Lesnar beat this man with one F5. One F5, mind you. It's the same guy that F5 Roman Reigns 6 times at WrestleMania because apparently 5 F5s were good enough to beat Roman Reigns in a row. So he had to F5 Roman Reigns 6 times at WrestleMania to beat Roman Reigns. But people like Samoa Joe or Braun Strowman, those guys can only get beat by one. Those
are guys that you actually can believe in a real fight could actually get a one up on Brock Lesnar.
These were the 2 most believable guys on the roster at that time frame from a character perspective, from an intensity perspective, from an all-around fan perspective, what the fans wanted, the fans actually, one of those 2 guys beating Brock Lesnar, fans would have been happy. Would have made sense because this just the way they've been structured. Samoa Joe made it believable enough that he could take down Brock Lesnar. Braun Strowman bigger than Brock Lesnar from strength-wise and everything. So that guy right there is more believable enough. But the fact that they fed both those guys to Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar could beat them with one move. One move when he go back and look at the Samoa Joe match, bro. He was in that coquina clutch for a minute, for a minute before he picked him up with that F5. Brock Lesnar took 3 of Braun Strowman's finishes in that match, only for them to lose to one F5 in a row, bro. And they kind of built Braun Strowman back up a little bit afterwards, which you can talk about in 2018. So it didn't really kill him off too much. But Samoa Joe, I mean, he was kind of a little cooked after that. I wouldn't say too, because he could have beat AJ Styles still too. So that could have kind of revived him a little bit, but he was still kind of a little cooked within the aspect. But for me, the fact that I was fully going into that No Mercy. You couldn't convince me Braun Strowman was losing. No way they're gonna have Brock Lesnar.
I'm
That's
with
just
you.
not happening, bro.
The only reason I knew he was gonna lose was because it was fucking happening at No Mercy, and I was like,
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar.
The
at this
problem
point is
is
not
with-
losing at a.
It didn't even
It's
matter.
not-
but I'm like,
problem
No,
is
because
with the
Brock
Brock Lesnar
Lesnar at
title
that
reign.
point was not going to lose at a B level
until Roman Reigns.
That's why I
No.
thought he was gonna
we
lose.
we knew from the night after WrestleMania 33 that the match at WrestleMania 34 was Roman Reigns and Brock
Yeah,
Lesnar, and
Brock Lesnar, yeah.
everybody knew it, and nobody wanted it, and that was the problem. Everyone that was going to be put in front of Brock Lesnar was going to look fucking stupid.
Let's see. 2018. This is starting to get
Shut
some
up,
dark
J
now.
Rock. Shut up. That means nothing.
Mickey, but I
That
love
means
that
nothing.
match. I'm not gonna lie, I love that match, but that was Mickey.
Yeah, I'm not
Hard
gonna lie.
to
Those one of those things that everybody shits on now, but at the time, I was like, hell yeah.
I
Shout out
love
Nick-
that DQ finish. Well, you're talking about that shit.
So
Oh,
20
Nicholas and Braun Strowman.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I liked it when it happened. I was,
That was
like,
funny.
hey,
I was
thought-
laughing, bro. I thought it was funny.
Don't get me started, bro. Don't get me started on that shit. Bro.
Well,
WrestleMania 34
I
as a
feel you
whole was
because that's your
2018.
job.
WrestleMania 34 as a whole, bro. As a whole.
It's 2018, bro.
So 2018, the people that voted, they voted for Asuka losing to Charlotte at WrestleMania.
That is by far the worst decision. It killed her. She's never been the same.
That is a
I
good
agree.
choice.
I agree. She is never been the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
That is a
No,
good
that's no. She literally lost all her aura that night.
But see, I
And
feel
then she
like-
couldn't
I
beat
feel like-
Carmella. She
No,
couldn't
see,
beat
that's
Carmella
that's
after
that's that's that issue with
Twice.
me. I feel like her losing to Charlotte wasn't the downfall. It was her losing to Carmella because even though
And James Ellsworth.
even though we
She lost to a
didn't,
nigga
we-
with no chin, bro.
yeah, even though we may not have agreed, Charlotte should have been the one to beat the streak. Charlotte has all the credentials where we can at least believe that she could beat Asuka. You know what I mean? Carmella,
Yeah.
though, bro, there's nothing
No,
they
that's
could have
crazy.
done. There's nothing they could have done to make us believe that Carmella can beat Asuka at that particular time frame in 2018. So even though she lost to Charlotte, they shouldn't have even kept her in the title feud after that, bro. They should have just had Asuka do something else, or
Okay.
at least feud with Charlotte, you know,
So-
and get her win back.
Okay, but wait. Here's the thing, though. Malik. Because you talk about feud with Charlotte. Well, mind you, they took the title right off of her for Carmella, which again, if you, it's kind of like they booked themselves into a corner. They had Asuka challenge Charlotte. What's it called? They had her challenge Charlotte because I don't remember who the champion was on Raw at the time, but they
Well, she
didn't want to
was.
do that because she was a Raw superstar.
Yeah.
She already
So-
beat
It was
Alexa Bliss
because I had
Right.
because it was
Because she beat her on
Nia
Raw
Jax.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah, she beat Alexa
Oh,
Bliss
yeah,
on
yeah,
Raw
yeah.
already, so she was just like,
'Cause
Okay, so
they had Nia
they
Jax
sent
for
her
a
over to
while.
SmackDown, but the problem was they had Carmella over there with Money in the Bank. So if now I think it would have been worse if Asuka wins that title undefeated and then loses by cash in. I think that would have been worse.
Oh yeah.
But I think because just how logically you moved Asuka from Raw to SmackDown. All you had to do was move Carmella from SmackDown to
Raw.
Raw, cash
I've been saying
in
this for years.
over there, but
On Nia
nevertheless,
Jax.
cash in on Nia Jax,
Easily.
which would have been fine because let's be real, Nia Jax at that time, nobody
Nobody cared.
Ain't nobody was moved.
Literally, I mean, yeah.
Ain't nobody was moved.
The
Right.
be a star, bro.
Yeah. I honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
And
I'm
Alexa
sorry,
ended up winning anyway.
Exactly.
She won the briefcase,
won the-
bro.
Yeah, she won the
so-
feud
Oh,
anyway.
she did
at
win
the
the Money in the
end.
Bank that year. Yeah.
Yeah,
she
and
was
she
the
cashed in on
transition-
Nia.
She was the
It all
transition
worked
for
out
Ronda
well.
Rousey.
Yeah.
It was the transition for Ronda Rousey. That's what that was. But the thing that agitates my soul about this match, because all right, fine, you had Charlotte win. Charlotte winning did nothing for Charlotte. Charlotte is still the same level of Charlotte. It's not like this is a Brock beating the streak where like, damn, you hit another level. No, Charlotte was still Charlotte. And it makes me even more mad that they wasted the win because she got that weak ass beat down by the Iconics. Bro, if y'all I promise y'all, if y'all have free time, go back and watch that beat down.
They
That
didn't
shit
even
was the most like
wishy-washy shit.
that's the type of shit my girl watches when she's watching wrestling while I'm watching it and be like, bro, they're not even hitting each other. They're just kind of pushing. They're just kind of two-hand touch. Like, bro, that's what I promise y'all. Chat, if y'all ever have time, go back and watch that beatdown.
Two-hand
Because
touch.
one, it was weak as fuck, and two,
Mhm.
that shit took forever.
Mike
I
Chioda
thought
was like,
Car-
"You
No,
want to cash
no,
in?
no, no,
You
not
You want to do
that-
it? You want to do it
Not,
now?
hey, not even just
Yeah.
the cash in. The beatdown
Huh?
took forever. I thought Carmella wasn't backstage. I
Yeah,
think they have to call her and be like,
Yeah,
"Hey, yo,
yeah,
you're up. Where you at?" Yeah,
Absolutely
bro.
ridiculous.
Yo, you up where you at?
There's a couple.
Hey, Q will, and she still ain't got to win at WrestleMania.
She should have won at
That's
39,
crazy,
arguably.
bro.
Yeah,
There's
bro. I'm
still-
not
no,
gonna
yeah,
lie,
she said-
Bianca
yep.
Belair.
Long term,
you
I
didn't-
know why. I know why. I know
Yeah,
why.
but
Yeah,
Bianca
that's
Belair,
fine,
you
bro.
did. Bianca Belair, you didn't need that game. I'm not. Gonna,
Yeah.
You didn't need that.
There's a couple.
Because Rhea Ripley was about to break a record if she didn't get hurt. He was about to break it again, so you didn't.
There's a couple of booking decisions I want to point out that year that happened all in that year. For some reason, they imploded Enzo and Cass that year. Their momentum as a
That was
tag team.
2017, wasn't it? That was
No, 2018 is when they broke up. When they broke up as a team.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
I'm
didn't-
sorry.
Nah,
Hey, I'm sorry.
No, they broke up
I'm sorry. Before you
2017.
continue. No.
No,
that's
because 2018
okay.
is when,
They broke up
Big Cass had
2017.
the feud with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
so real quick,
yeah.
real quick,
Yeah.
because y'all just reminded
They broke
me.
up in 2017.
Let's go back to 2017 real quick. I'm sorry, I get it. It was a
we
great
go
moment.
again.
They should not have won the tag titles. Just do a swanton off a ladder. But because they took forever to give the titles to Enzo and Cass when they were the hottest thing. But we all assumed, okay, Mania, you want to do it on the biggest stage. That's fine. Cool. The second the New Day was like, we have a fourth team, I was like, it better be y'all. Because I swear if these niggas come out, they're not winning and it's going to piss me off. I heard that music. I was the only one that groaned. Because I knew Enzo and Cass were not winning that match, and I knew that was going to be the end for them. And sure enough, what happened? That was the end for them. They never.
It didn't have
recovered.
to be. It didn't have to be.
I'm not gonna lie, Mo. I
Just
don't think,
the bar beat the Hardys. Just take it off the bar.
No, Mo, but you don't understand, though, Mo. They had already waited so long to give them the titles.
Yeah, I agree.
Bro,
They were so high.
They
They were still
held-
high. Yeah.
You
Like when they broke up,
kinda
people
like-
were pissed.
People
They
were
were
so
so high.
sad. I was like, damn.
Bro, I'm not saying y'all are wrong, but y'all don't understand. You know how like when you wait so long for something, and then they finally do it, and it's like, well, like
Nah,
to an extent,
nah.
like when Roman finally won the title, it was like, well, fucking finally. That's kind of
Yeah,
how
in
it would,
2018,
that's
yeah.
kind of how it would have been for Enzo and Cass if they would have won after that. Would have been like, I mean, I guess like about time.
Really,
Like, that's how it
realistically,
felt.
WrestleMania was.
I mean, here's the simpler solution. You have to do you have to do this. Just move them to SmackDown.
You lagging again, bro. Wi-Fi lagging again, bro. I mean, realistically, WrestleMania that was Enzo and Cass's moment, bro. Like they should have won
I
that match.
agree,
That was their moment to really. They were the most over tag team within the company. They were probably top 5 most over guys in the company, bro, for a minute, bro. Like without titles attached to them, and the fact they never even won the tag team titles, not even once. They didn't
No,
touch
that
them.
is stupid.
Because
That is
they
stupid.
were waiting
That
for
is-
Mania and then the Hardy show, bro.
But again,
You know what, Mo?
them
You know
beating
what,
the
Mo?
bar at SummerSlam could
Mo,
have been
Mo,
great.
You know, Mo.
It's kind of
Bro,
dragging
you
it towards that point, bro.
dragging it at that point. It's literally, I know it's not the same level, but when Roman beat Brock at SummerSlam, even though nobody wanted to see it at Mania, at least at Mania we were like, okay, we know what we're here for.
But nobody
Let's just
wanted
get
to
it
see
over
Brock.
with. No. But the point is,
Everyone still loves
then
Enzo
they
and Cass.
lost. No, okay, yes. So because they still loved them, I'm not gonna lie. Me personally, even though they were still loved, they did not have the same heat or momentum or steam that they did after they lost. But But the thing was, it's kind of like, remember when Cody lost and we were like, "Ooh, I don't know how they're gonna keep this up for a year because
Right.
we know
Actually,
how
no,
we know
I
how
use-
fans get." That's how it was with Enzo and Cass. They were waiting for so long, and they had opportunities to do that way before.
You could
Before. If the Hardys would have came back and Enzo and Cass would have been tag team champions going in, that's fine. Give them the moment.
to use a better example, basically what they did with Enzo and Cass is kind of like what they're doing with Jey Uso right now, bro. It's like they're pushing it. They're pushing the narrative too far.
Okay,
bro. Like
I see what you're saying now.
Jey Uso has had the opportunity of
But
many moments
but
to win
I mean,
win
my
singles
lagging.
titles.
No,
And
you're
even
good.
though he's still
You're
getting
good.
good reactions, it's kind of starting to I think a lot of the fans are kind of starting to realize it's probably not going to happen at this stage, bro, because
And so it's kind of like, all right, cool. Like,
No, see, but
I-
the difference, but I will say the difference between them, they weren't proving that they're the best tag team 4 years on the main roster in the biggest storyline of all time. Like, I see the comparison, but it's also not a one-on-one. Like, Jey Uso literally carried that storyline when Roman wasn't there. Like, he's shown that he can carry a story. He's shown that he can be he's capable of being a guy that you go to. He sells merch like a world champion, but they refuse to put even the mid-card title on him. And I see what you're saying, but Enzo and Cass if they would have
They
waited
still
a few
had
more
their
months or
momentum,
something,
not as much momentum.
Yeah,
as
they
you
had-
said. I agree with
yeah.
that. I agree with
yeah,
that.
I agree with this because obviously Bloodline Jey Uso was like the most. I think the
Key
most
character
important.
work.
I think he's the most important. Obviously, other than Roman, because you don't have the story without Roman.
yes.
But he's like the next most important. So I'm with you on that part. However, with the way I look at it, bro, they weren't Jey Uso levels of momentum, but they damn near was top 3 over acts in the company at that point.
For sure.
Like you know,
I think they was up there, bro. They got one of the biggest reactions coming up from
So were the
NXT,
Hardys.
bro. Like on the main roster debuts, their debut reaction.
That's
was-
probably the best
Bro,
debut from
they
NXT.
sacrificed the Dudley
Yeah.
boys. They sacrificed the Dudley boys because they had this team coming up and they knew they was gonna be the ones. They didn't put bro. Remember when the Dudleys came back and we all thought they
The
was winning
Dudleys
the
didn't have the
titles?
same momentum as the Hardys.
Yeah.
The Hardys were coming off the broken shit.
That's true. Yeah.
I hear you, but
Dudley's
The
got
Hardys
neutered
were
so
so
quick.
You know
over,
what?
bro.
You know
At that
what?
time, it's
No.
crazy.
I'm
But
sorry.
I get
The
your
Hardys,
frustration
realistically,
now that
though,
you-
are always going to be over, bro. It's the
yeah,
Hardys, bro.
that's the thing.
But
So
they were
always
like,
gonna
they
be
were
over.
popular. Here's the thing: they were popular, but then like that broken Hardys thing took them to a whole nother stratosphere. At that,
Yeah,
at
I
that
bought
point
this
in time.
shirt when they came back.
At
though.
that
That's all.
time. Like they were like the most overact in professional wrestling at that time, especially Matt.
No,
Yeah.
they were pretty over, but
But I get what
Even
you're
Michael Cole, things are about to get broken.
Enzo and Cass was up there. That would have been like
That whack ass call.
Oh my!
For every whack call, he has Miracle on Bourbon Street though, which is so crazy.
Our heist of the century. Yeah.
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 For every whack, stupid, it's boss time. He's got a freaking heist. of the
Here
century,
comes
bro.
the big dog.
also other things happened in 2018 that I'm going to point out. The first ever Hell in a Cell that ended in no contest. We got that with Roman Reigns
That
and
was
Braun
stupid,
Strowman.
yeah.
When Braun Strowman cashed in the Money in the Bank, and then Brock Lesnar came out and destroyed it, and the match ended with
You forgot about that,
no
G?
finish.
No, because it just reminded me of something. What was the year Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar had a steel cage match and Roman won?
That was
Because
the
he
That
had
same
his
year.
first-
That same year.
Same
That
year.
pissed me off so
Same year,
much
bro.
because they were trying to pretend like Roman didn't win.
bro, and it was clear as day. It was clear as day. This nigga
Roman
hit
clearly
first.
hit the floor first.
And I was like, bro, are they
Brock's
serious?
body hit the floor first, but Roman's feet touched first. It was like,
His,
Yeah,
no,
so-
his
but-
body was fully on the
Because
cage.
he's
His body's fully
on the cage because his spirit
It's
is fully
fully on the cage.
So when I watched it, bro, you got to understand my thought process. I'm like, Roman
His
Reigns
feet are
won
nowhere
here.
near the ground.
I was like,
His feet
Roman
are
Reigns won
nowhere
here,
near
and
the
then they
ground.
rung the bell, and Brock's music hit. I'm like, no, you motherfucker.
I said you are.
You're extending this on
kidding me.
purpose now. You're doing this on purpose.
and something
I
else.
thought they took it to Saudi so he would get cheered. That's what
I thought.
And Roman clear
Yes!
as day one. Brock's body is fully on the cage. His feet are damn near in the ring, but Roman loses. Are you kidding me?
Another one that was stupid to me. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, the Undertaker and John Cena match. In fact, it was a squash match. That honestly, bro, I was like, why do we even?
Yeah, that definitely.
We waited so
hurt my heart.
long for
That hurt
this.
my heart,
Undertaker, we know was older. Cena was a little past his prime too, but we had waited so long to get this match at WrestleMania, and to know for the fact that Undertaker trained so hard and he was ready for a full match at WrestleMania, and the fact they had to have a squash match, bro, we shouldn't even got it, bro. It was pointless.
Didn't they do it to troll Taker or something?
Which
It
is
was
annoying
it was.
because you could have did that with somebody else.
They said
That
it was
John
best for
Cena.
the story. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It was stupid, bro.
Yeah,
WrestleMania
John,
24. is old.
see, this
WrestleMania
is my
24.
problem with John Cena.
Uh-oh.
I hate that he wait till now to want to start trying to do what's best for the story and put people. Nigga, it's you and Undertaker. If you don't go out there, y'all didn't even have to wrestle for 20. Y'all could have gave me 15 and I would have been happy.
I don't think that was
He
Cena's
gave me
call.
10. I
You
took
could-
10.
I don't think that was Cena's call. I think that was Vince's call, bro.
I don't
No,
think
Cena,
that
no,
match would
Cena
happen
has
anymore.
said himself.
Cena agreed
He
with
said,
that. He agreed.
like, hey, yeah, it needs to be a squash. Yeah.
That's wild.
And
Undertaker-
that's the part
Undertaker
that's
was
gonna
the
be
only
pissing
one
me
who was
off about
like-
sometimes.
Undertaker
Like-
was the one who was trying to talk him out of it, but he said he got ganged up on basically. Like him and Taker and was outmatched by Cena and Vince because they felt that should have been
It's gangbanging, bro. That's crazy.
So, yep.
And that was actually a
They-
great build too. It was actually a great build.
Yes, Cena
It was a cool
killing
build.
on
It was
Nah,
cool.
that was cold, bro. That was cold.
Because
cool
like the
build,
but at
dome
that
never
point-
hit on any of the shows, and I was like, "Oh, I like this." But once he showed up and made
Well, I mean, also
But
can't
then with the
forget another
squash, I was
thing.
just
Another
like,
thing.
ugh.
Shinsuke losing to AJ Styles and then turning heel after that match was
I don't
Wait.
honestly, me personally, I didn't hate that he turned heel
Me neither.
I hate that the match was underwhelming.
No,
That's what I
it
hated
was
more.
stupid.
I
That's
hated
what I
that
hated
Shinsuke
more.
never
I
won
hate
eventually.
both.
I hated that
both.
Shinsuke didn't eventually win. That was my.
I hated they turned him heel because he was one of the most over baby faces in the company, and turned him
It's
heel
true.
because they didn't want his momentum to be hot, bro. That's why they turned him heel, bro.
That match
That's
should
why
have
they
opened
turned
the
him heel,
show, and Shinsuke.
And also, shout out to DX versus Brothers Destruction. That shit.
yeah, I was about to say Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement.
bro. Shawn
I've
Michaels
never
coming
been
out of
so-
retirement, Hickenbottom,
I
bro.
felt so
Listen,
sad.
listen, bro.
I'm like,
The
y'all
fact
made
That
me
was
cry
that was
and
Michael's.
for
That was
no
Michael
reason.
Hickenbottom. That wasn't Shawn Michaels.
The
That was
fact,
Michael.
hold on, the fact,
He was
Shawn
And he
Michaels-
went bald too.
Shawn Michaels,
Oh.
Shawn Michaels had, because I'm gonna clip this too. Shawn Michaels had the greatest retirement storyline match in the history of professional wrestling, bro. In the history of WWE, shit was beautiful, bro. The way they built that up for a year, couldn't beat Taker. He became obsessed with it. He was trying everything to win the Rumble. Couldn't do it. That image when he got eliminated by Batista was so sad. And then he had to cost Undertaker the Elimination Chamber match and the World Championship just to get Undertaker's attention to say, I'm going to get this match at WrestleMania. I'm going to do whatever it takes. They built it up so perfectly. He went off. It was great, right? And the fact, bro, it could not even AJ Styles dream match. All these dream matches we talked about for years. Daniel Bryan, bro, he come back for the DX and the Brothers of Destruction match. Two old guys on two same teams. Undertaker, Triple H, old. Everybody in this aspect is old. You got old people in a match that would have been great. Now, DX versus Brothers of Destruction and the Ruthless Aggression era, Attitude Era, fire. Great. I'm saying would have ate that up. I'm saying that would have been incredible. But you have four guys who were past their prime, old, in a match, and think it was gonna cook, bro. I knew the match was doomed from the beginning when the best guy in the match who could work got hurt. When Triple H got hurt in the beginning of the match, and he was the guy that could do the most, you knew it was gonna be over with. He got cooked.
Shawn was still okay.
And chat for
Taker
those of
became
you-
cooked.
Triple
Hey,
H
chat,
was more
Taker
active.
came cooked.
and
at that time.
chat,
Shawn
for
Michaels
those
had to
of
be better
you-
because he had to carry. Because Triple H got hurt.
Hey,
He got
and
hurt.
Chat, and
He couldn't
chat,
do anything.
for those of you who don't remember, the highlight of the night was Shawn Michaels missing a moonsault and Kane's mask coming off.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my
Kane's
God.
mask falling off.
I refuse
Kane,
to
like,
watch that match.
bro,
And
it was the
that's-
craziest thing in the
That's
world.
another sign. That's another sign that was a disaster. When's Kane's mask ever come off in a match? When's a match?
Never, I've never seen it happen.
Never.
I've never seen
I
it
watched
happen.
Diesel. I watched Diesel versus Mabel again before I watched that shit again.
Bro, it never happens, bro.
Hey, I'm watching Melina versus Alicia Fox. I'm watching that again.
Hell yeah. At least that's quick. At least that's
you're right,
quick.
you're right.
and
That was
easy,
a
bro.
sign. That was a sign that God was telling us that should have never happened because the fact that Shawn Michaels had a bald head, Triple H got hurt in the match, Kane's mask comes up, bro. There's never been a match you can name that Kane's
Undertaker
mask
just
comes
being
off
Undertaker.
bro. Like,
Man.
come
Yeah,
on.
Undertaker's still coming off the I lost, I'm not the same. Because didn't this happen after the Roman shit?
Yep.
We had
Yes,
that bad
No.
hit?
Yeah.
This should have ended.
After,
That should've
this
been-
happened. This happened
Situation.
after. I don't think Undertaker did anything after the WrestleMania match. So yeah, that feud with Triple H. They had a decent match at Super Showdown. That was actually pretty decent. Like I was like,
That was
cool.
okay. Yeah.
It was
Yeah, I was
okay
like, cool.
match,
We can end it here. But no, they.
Nah,
Shawn out of
nobody
retirement.
wanted Shawn Michaels to come back for that match in particular. There's so many other matches he could have came back for if he had wanted to, which he didn't have to.
We
But if
wanted
there
the AJ match in 2016.
If there was other matches he could have came back for if he had agreed to do so, which he didn't have to do so because he went out perfectly. But the fact that he sat there and decided this, I mean, I get those your boys, y'all go way back, y'all had great matches in the past, but y'all have to understand.
And the
y'all
back
in
too.
your 50s now,
G,
yeah,
you better
yeah,
not justify this shit.
y'all in y'all 50s now.
Christopher what?
Undertaker's had his body's been shot for years, bro, with multiple injuries. Kane isn't active like that anymore. Triple H wrestles every once in a blue moon. Hickenbottom, bro, he ain't wrestled in forever. He came back bald. But when I saw the bald head,
Nah, when this hat came off at Super Showdown, I'm like, oh
yeah, when he had no hair. I mean, we all knew the hairline was fading for years, but when they saw he had none, oh,
I was
my
like,
God,
nah, this is
bro.
dead, bro.
I was like,
Nah,
oh, we're
yeah.
cooked.
Crazy.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I was like,
I didn't even want to look at Shawn again.
Curse.
I went and watched Taker and Shawn from Mania 25 after I saw the hat come off. I was like, no. This is not the
Yeah,
Shawn
it's
Michaels I know.
terrible.
No.
20. So to
That's
move on
Michael
to,
Hickenbottom, bro.
to move on to move on to 2019. There's a lot you can talk about 2019.
Jesus.
The people
I mean,
voted for the Fiend and Seth Rollins on his own.
I mean, yeah, that's the
Sure,
that's the correct
sure.
answer. There's so many
That
choices.
is the
Yeah,
nail in the
yeah.
coffin. That is the nail.
That
Yeah,
is
sure,
the correct
yeah.
answer, though.
Yeah,
But, there's a lot of bad
we
things
can
they
go
could-
Goldberg, Undertaker,
Yeah, big Roman Reigns with the dog.
That
food,
happened
fucking-
the
fucking
same
Kofi
year.
losing to Brock. Oh my god, we can go on.
Literally
I'm
2
not gonna
days
lie,
before Hell in
I'm
a
not-
Cell.
I'm not gonna lie. Kofi losing to Brock was just racism at that point. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, that was racist, bro.
Kofi should have lost the
So
match. Not in 8
even hold on,
seconds.
to throw out
No,
something.
because they went to commercial and the match hadn't started, and I was like, "Yo, there's only like 8 minutes left of the show when they went to
squash
commercial."
match. Squash
It should have
match.
been like
I
a
was like-
5-minute sprint or something.
No,
So-
I thought Cain because I thought Cain Velasquez was gonna come out and stop the match from happening. Like that's what I thought was gonna happen.
Nobody
You
expected
heard
the show.
that
I
Cain
didn't know
Velasquez was
Velasquez
coming?
to come out.
Yeah,
Especially
I thought that was a reported play. At least I don't.
I wasn't reading the dirt sheets, bro. I ain't
Yeah, because no,
Yeah.
because they were getting ready for Fox.
yeah, I ain't know
Oh,
nothing about
that's
no
right.
Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, no, I didn't either. My
So-
roommate was like, "Is that Dominic?"
Yeah, so the fans, the people that I had in the poll, they voted for the Fiend and Seth Rollins Hell in a Cell match, which is easily number one. But also the same year, you had the Lana and Bobby Lashley storyline. You had Roman Reigns getting dog food dumped on him. Kofi Kingston getting squashed by Brock Lesnar. Baron Corbin retired Kurt Angle when we could have got John Cena versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania.
Oh my God, bro.
You had Goldberg versus The Undertaker happen that year as well. So that all happened in that same calendar year. So
Lacey Evans.
Lacey Evans,
Wild card
main
rule.
eventing stuff. Seth Rollins being called. Seth Rollins being called the man's man.
Matches
I was gonna say 203
Yeah.
falls match rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2019 might be the worst year in WWE history. I
It's
think
so
that
bad,
or
bro.
95.
Oh,
It's
and
so
another
bad.
bad part.
Every first fall happened like in 3 minutes before the commercial break.
Because Vince didn't want wrestling during the commercial break.
So
Ano-
you
another-
just imagine
another-
sitting there in the crowd.
Another bad part of that year, I mentioned Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch teamed up, and then they had Seth Rollins being called the man's man. That was terrible.
Jesus.
And then they had
Because they wanted him to be cool. They wanted him to be cool. So
They also
thought
had,
he was
the
gonna-
report. Yeah.
They also had Brock Lesnar steal Money in the Bank that year and win it. And then he cashed in on Seth Rollins to retell the storyline that they already had told. So basically, after he beat Rollins for the title, the whole storyline going into SummerSlam was, can Seth Rollins defeat Brock Lesnar and slay the beast? And they already did that at WrestleMania.
Which
So,
agitated. This is when Seth Rollins' character as a babyface. I'm glad he was
Dead.
able to reinvent himself, and I'm glad he's a babyface again now. But this is when it dead for me. I was like, I don't want to see you as a face ever again, because he was also, mind you, he was also getting heat for the beef he had with Will or Kenny.
Yeah.
Will
Yeah,
Ospreay.
Yeah,
Ospreay,
Will.
Ospreay,
And it
yeah.
was like, hey, and everybody was kind of like, hey, Seth, chill, nigga. So you had that. And then, bro, he laying there. I never forget. He in the what you call them things? The ring apron or whatever, the little turnbuckle. He in the turnbuckle laying on the side.
Screaming from the Fiend. Yeah.
Like,
From
no,
the Fiend, yeah.
bro, I wasn't even talking about the Fiend. This is the Brock Lesnar feud. He's sitting there.
Oh no.
I don't know how.
I don't know if I can do this.
But you did it already, bro. Like you did it. You already did it, bro. And like they were really like that. That was the time they were still trying to make him cool. They're like, "What do we do to make Seth Rollins cool?" I'm like, "Dude, whatever. Not this.
They were
Not this. Just do what you've been doing the
title.
past year."
They were
Yeah.
contemplating putting the WWE Championship on Shane McMahon.
I remember that, bro. Yep.
Like 2018
the world. What was the best in
2018,
the
that
world?
was
That year, well, he won in
2018 and 19.
but like they made it like insufferable.
Oh, also in 2019, I forgot Shane McMahon did beat Roman Reigns at a PLE that year, by the way, too. He beat him at Super Showdown. So that also happened that year too. So
Their first 3 months
that was,
were-
that was the year Kevin Owens came out and he started mentioning guys that needed to get used more, like Buddy Murphy and all that stuff. And then,
Yeah,
Yes,
I
the
remember
Kevin
that.
Owens crash
Yeah,
out
oh
promo.
my
Yeah.
Hey. Anybody remember the team of Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and Baron Corbin?
yeah. Also, they
was
turned.
that the War Dogs? Was that the War Dogs?
No. That was
No,
that
War
was
Dogs,
Ziggler,
that was
Braun,
Braun Strowman, Ziggler, and
McIntyre. The Dogs of
I mean,
War.
that was
that was still
2018.
bad.
That was 2018. That was 2018.
Dogs of War.
They also turned Chad Gable into Shorty G that year, 2019 too. Shorty G.
And Cesaro had them pants for some reason, bro.
Yeah.
He was wearing pants, bro.
Don't take me back.
Bro, 2019 was so bad, bro. And Baron Corbin, for some reason, for most of the year, he would still wrestle in a dress shirt and pants.
And
Even though he had
yes.
no power. He had no power. I was like, why are you
Here's
so
the
dressed up like
Baron
this?
Corbin in that King of the Ring tournament was actually really good, and then he wins the
Facts.
tournament, and it was dog
Facts.
shit.
Bro,
No
the
pun
fact
intended.
that-
That
man.
King Corbin shit, I'm not gonna lie, it had potential, but then he just started feuding with the dog food and stuff.
Bro, the thing with the Baron Corbin feuds, bro, they always put him in these feuds that lasted for like 4 to 5 months, bro. Like, I don't
Bro,
I
understand.
thought the feud was over at Royal Rumble 2020, and then they ran it back at Super Showdown in 2020. I'm like, are you why? It's done.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what's crazy? End of days, one of the most protected finishers of all time in WWE. Only like
Been
two.
kicked
One
out
of,
of
yeah.
once. What, McIntyre and who else?
By McIntyre.
I thought somebody in NXT did. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe
There's
it
a
was
couple
Braun,
people I think they
maybe.
kicked out. They'll
Or
do is one.
Ilya or
I thought
something.
it was Ilya. I thought it was Ilya, but
It's a protected finisher. But what's crazy is Roman Reigns in that year got pinned by Shane McMahon, Eric Rowan, and King Corbin, bro. All at pay-per-views too, by the way.
Those were Jey Uso, and those three were the last.
all at
people to
pay-per-views.
pin, Roman before.
Eric
It
Rowan
was like the last minute pin.
Clash of the Clash of Champions.
Clash of Champions, bro.
Yeah.
Clash of Champions, bro.
2020.
Yeah.
Was it a tag team match or was it 1-on-1?
1-on-1.
1-on-1.
Hold on, they had a tag team match with. So this is when. Oh my God, the Who Done It
That's
with Roman
crazy.
Reigns.
That was it.
Bro.
Started so well. It started so well.
It started so well, and then it went nowhere. Cause like you remember when the thing fell on Roman, he was
It's like,
like looking at it. They had the.
but then they had a good match with Buddy Murphy and Roman on SmackDown.
Oh,
That
my
was-
Wasn't
and
even
then-
supposed to be in the freaking storyline.
It was so bad, and that was
he
when
was just in
that
the
was when
background,
Eric
and people
Bischoff.
were like,
That was when Eric Bischoff was directing SmackDown. Because remember they brought in Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman.
and Paul Heyman. They
Yeah.
just put
Oh,
the
I agree on the
Paul-
Paul Heyman. The Paul Heyman thought like you actually saw the changes after.
Yeah, I was about to say
the
no.
draft.
Monday Night Raw,
Mm.
Aleister Black. Aleister
Yeah.
Black was getting pushed to the moon.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
there were actual like changes, not like Triple H changes, but like you could see like there was a little bit more emphasis on
The
on
first show with Paul, if I'm not mistaken, the first show.
Yeah,
with
I remember
Paul
that.
Heyman, Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman,
And Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
and Corey
Yeah,
Graves.
I remember that.
Holy shit!
Bro,
I'm like,
I
I
thought
was like-
that was the moment where like, okay, we're gonna get better.
We're-
Okay, finally. And then the
Yep.
rest of the show was dog shit.
they said
Yeah.
they said, oh wait, Raw's getting too good. Yeah, Paul Heyman, I'm taking the reins back, gang. Taking the reins.
They just put
Yeah.
Heyman and Bischoff there to save face, to take the hate away from Vince, but we all
Yeah.
know it's fucking
I don't know if Bischoff even did anything because SmackDown.
He
He
was
wasn't there. He wasn't there long. He wasn't there long.
Bischoff definitely didn't
Yeah.
do that.
Bischoff said I'm out, bro.
Yeah.
He wasn't there too long, bro. That shit was it was bad, bro. It was bad all around.
Considering
To end it off, 2020. There were two that were really close neck and neck. Goldberg beating the Fiend was number one, but the second
that's
one
good.
was Shannon Baszler losing to Becky Lynch at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
I've gone off
Yeah.
about that. I've gone off about that.
Yeah, both
Yeah,
are terrible,
Goldberg
but yeah, I think Goldberg
Both are
beat
bad.
Goldberg
And
beat
then,
the Fiend.
then also, Asuka winning Money in the Bank was one of them too. After the whole reveal, like she has the title and stuff like that afterwards.
I don't think
What?
Oscar, that wasn't bad.
No,
Why
It was
would
bad.
it-
It was bad hindsight because that should have never happened. Becky Lynch had never even been the champion. By the way.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you
Oh,
look at
yeah.
that, but honestly
But-
though, but even if Shayna Baszler does win, I think Oscar winning Money in the Bank was great regardless.
That
I
was
think that was always
That's
the right
fine.
decision.
Otis winning up there. Was
Yeah,
really
no,
cool. Otis
yeah.
winning Money in the Bank was.
I think
Yeah,
Oscar
Otis
was
up there
always
is
the right
stupid.
decision.
Yeah.
Otis winning was ridiculous.
Goldberg and-
It was
That
funny in the
should've-
moment, but
Because that should have been who should have won it that year?
AJ,
You said who?
AJ was in it.
AJ Styles.
No,
literally
AJ
grabbed
was in
the
it, but it
briefcase
wasn't
and
him.
fumbled it.
Who got yeeted off the Rey Mysterio got yeeted? Who else got yeeted?
Aleister
Yeah.
Black.
Aleister Black,
It was Aleister
and they were
Black.
back the next night.
I'm gonna look at
won.
Goldberg beating the Fiend and Shayna Baszler losing is like really neck and neck for me because Goldberg beating the Fiend was terrible, but Shayna
sorry,
Baszler has
pandemic.
never
Sorry.
recovered from that loss for Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. She's never even touched a world title on the main roster, never even come close to touching the world title on the main roster. She went from being the most dominant person in NXT, dominated everybody in that elimination chamber, didn't beat Becky Lynch, and then she went on for like 2 years in a row to having the most losses in WWE after that. She's never been able to recover from that loss.
And
after
those
that,
are
due
the
to
most
bad
losses
booking.
on TV, not house shows. On TV, most losses.
Like badly, bro. So the Fiend losing to Goldberg was terrible, but the only reason
the Fiend never recovered either. The Fiend never recovered either.
I think the Randy Orton feud kind of recovered him a bit. When he lost to Randy Orton at WrestleMania, that was really it for me.
That was
like,
the
when they had
end.
Alexa Bliss turn on him, and then he lost after. I was like, yeah, it's done with the Fiend, bro. Like, but to me,
Worst opener ever.
they had Goldberg beating the Fiend was terrible, but they only did that because they always wanted Roman Reigns to be their champion. We knew they wanted Roman Reigns to be their champion, and they still wanted the fans to accept him as their top babyface. And if Roman Reigns goes to WrestleMania and beats the Fiend, he's getting booed. They're booing him out of that stadium. But who's somebody that they hate more than Roman Reigns that they could possibly care enough to cheer for? Well, it has to be Goldberg, right? Because if he beats Goldberg at WrestleMania, they're going to be a little happy that he beat Goldberg because they don't want Goldberg to be the champion more than they want Roman Reigns to be the champion.
And Roman was a little less hated at this point. A little
Yeah, he
Because of
like
leukemia,
bit.
yeah.
A little
yeah,
bit.
and so but even then, like when they had like the little stare off or whatever, Roman Reigns didn't really get booed like that, and he kind of wasn't acting like a
He got
little
cheered.
corny. He wasn't acting corny. He was acting like, yeah, hey, look,
I'm
I'm
next.
back now. I kind of was playing nice. Like Roman's attitude was like, look, I came back. I was playing nice. I ain't really, but I'm ready to take the thing I never
He
lost.
literally just said, "I'm
That's-
next," and left.
Yeah, but what's it called? The Fiend lose. What's it called? The only reason why I actually kind of gave that some grace as well, the Fiend made it work storyline wise and kayfabe wise, and that's why I will always think Bray Wyatt is a top 3 creative mind. When he got squashed like that, he came out on Twitter and he basically said, yeah, guys, my character was attacking people who've wronged me. Goldberg has never wronged me, so it was a sacrifice. I didn't need to fight him. I was like, you motherfucker, that makes sense because that's been your whole character. But I hate the fact that you have to come out here and bullshit like this. Knowing
Like,
good
you
and
know
well,
it's a dumb decision.
yeah, bro. Like, I know they told him to go do that because technically he was right. Everybody he had feuded with up until that point had done him wrong some way before.
Except the Miz.
The Miz was
Yeah, that was weird.
That was so stupid.
Hey, but that's why the Fiend didn't fight him. That's why Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I was gonna say the
Right.
Fiend never fought the Miz.
There were
That-
so many good. Bro, I will maintain that Universal title reign is low key underrated. Low key underrated.
It just
Which
ended
one?
horrible. It just ended
Ended
horribly.
really
It
bad.
ended-
So like,
yeah,
it
ended
It's the
horribly.
Bryan feud. It's the Bryan feud. The Bryan feud really.
Bryan
made it.
feud was good. I liked it. And then
He's the
ruined
That
it.
was
Daniel
honestly the
Bryan
only
to-
good thing because
Daniel Bryan to this day is the only person that didn't turn heel messing with the Fiend.
Kevin Owens.
He messed with. Oh
He
yeah,
had a
for
match
like
with-
a week. Yeah, like a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens
He
had
had
a
a
match
match
with
with
the
the
Fiend.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
on SmackDown.
The Fiend on SmackDown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
This
this.
is pandemic. This is pandemic. So they
Like
probably just went
after
ratings.
SummerSlam. After SummerSlam, yeah. After he's
Yeah.
lost the Universal title again.
Yeah. This is pandemic.
I don't remember that. And
Yeah.
I'll watch the pandemic.
They overexposed the Fiend, bro. So I mean, there was a lot of times he was on TV. He shouldn't have been on TV, but within that time frame, there was a lot of bad stuff they did with that character. Bray was always able to at least revive himself a little bit to make it more interesting because he was so good creatively. Shayna Baszler, on the other hand, never been the same, bro. She's never been the same, man. She's never recovered from that, bro. Even when they had a
Well,
chance to
part of that-
recover it last year, bro, when she beat
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey, they still
Yeah,
didn't
that's-
recover.
It's more like Ronda Rousey's definitely that's a Triple H fumble. And again,
Yeah.
we talk about being stubborn. I genuinely think part of the reason he's doing that is because he's dead set on trying to fix this tag division, this women's tag division. He's dead set on it because he loves tag
I
team
hope
wrestling.
so.
He loves it. He loves. I like, and credit to you, but
Does he?
yeah, my nigga, no, he does. He does.
No, he definitely does, bro.
He
yeah.
definitely does. He
Shit,
definitely
there was a point in time when in NXT he was having some of them. Tag
Yeah, that's
teams,
my
man.
problem. Like NXT, the tag
Yeah,
division was amazing. I don't know what's up with the main roster, man. I really
The main roster it did take a little minute because
I think the main roster is it's just different from the NXT, bro. It's just different.
it's catered
it's really
to
harder
a
to
different.
book. Yeah,
It's catered to a different audience, so it's easier for you to because Triple H, the luxury that he had all these indie guys who were great in ring and just gave them great stories to tell, right? And in the main roster, a lot of people, the casuals more so specifically, even though I think they're getting conditioned better now, a lot of them don't care about the in-ring stuff anymore. Like, well, for the longest time, we did it. We talk about it all the time. DVR, did you watch the first 15 minutes of an 18 match or did you fast forward to the last 3 to see what the finish was? Because that's what you cared about. And that's how people were conditioned for over a decade. So Triple H, it's kind of changing that. I think this King and Queen of the Ring tournament mixed with just having some stories that people can invest in. Like, I never thought I'd see the day people were invested in a Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega match, let alone a tag match with Rey Mysterio and Dom. Never thought I'd see the day that would happen. But hey, they was into that. When Zelina Vega hit that cold red and almost won, they was into that. They was just into me again, beating what's her face, Stephanie Strand. They was into that finish. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, me and him been cooking, bro. I can't lie. She been cooking.
Miriam is underrated, man.
She been cooking on NXT and main roster. She been cooking, bro. She been
putting.
putting in a lot of work, bro.
Wait,
She been
what?
doing-
I'm not gonna lie.
You don't know.
I've never seen it with me again. Even when she got signed the first time, I was
It's the
never,
black in her, huh?
No, it has nothing to do with
Yeah.
it.
G. Hogan strikes again.
That's crazy. It has nothing.
I
To do
think
with that.
one
Because
thing
I didn't even
before-
know she was black. So that has nothing
Really?
to do with that. No, I did not know she was black.
See, doesn't even recognize his culture, bro. It's crazy. Crazy.
Oh my god.
Crazy.
Let's keep it a buck. She looks
Crazy.
more on the Asian side of her than she does the black
Crazy.
side of her.
It's crazy. I think
That's
I think one thing-
crazy.
I think one
Almost
thing
died.
I think one thing that we have to understand, at least the way I look at it, the reason Triple H and Shawn Michaels have been able to do great things with NXT is because I don't think they have to answer to those higher ups on the main roster. Because it was even said by many superstars, Vince didn't even watch NXT when Triple H was running it. So that's one of the main reasons he was changing people all the time, because he didn't know who they were, bro. He wasn't paying attention to what they were doing down there. So the fact that the guy who was running the company wasn't even watching what you call your developmental brand as your, to invest into your future, it kind of says a lot of why, NXT was able to succeed a lot. I feel like they had more creative freedom, where they can do a lot more, because the top guy in the company, he's not watching it. So he don't know what's going on down there, bro. He don't understand.
But even with that said, I think the main roster, I think me, and I'm only going to speak for me. I did what I always complain people do, like with Marvel and stuff. I had my expectations through the roof, and then I had to lower them, right? I thought we was getting black and gold takeover era. We here. I thought it was gonna be the same shit. Johnny Tommaso, run it back. Ricochet. Hey, you might actually feel credible again, right? The whole thing. So, but when I still look at it, even with my peppered expectations, I've seen you make people be over that either haven't been over in a long time, or I never would have thought. Ludwig Kaiser is the prime example of somebody to me who I never would have thought as a solo guy would actually get some heat. I thought he was going to be Gunther's lackey forever until he turned on him and then faded to obscurity. Another person that I think if they gave him a solo run, I think just based on the reactions when they actually in a crowd that are invested, Angelo Dawkins is somebody who I think could be fine in the mid card. I think he could be fine. And that's credit to him and how he's portrayed them. But in the same breath, Ricochet's leaving your company, even though you've had he's had moments, it's been a lot of start and stop with him. You give him some flurry and then nothing. You put him in this little speed thing, and I think he's kind of like, bro, what are we on? They're finally doing something with Andrade. Shout out him. But Bronson Reed was doing some good stuff too. Faded into obscurity for a little bit. Now he's back on TV. I think Triple H just needs to sit down and be like, all right, I can't push everybody. So let me decide.
Karrion Kross.
Exactly. That's literally who I was going to bring up. I need to decide who's getting me reactions, who's not. And yeah, I can probably try to get back to my NXT days, but just have a platform, I think, or a baseline. I think right now, other than the main popular guys that were established without the help of him, like that were still big top guys with Vince, I think other than those guys, I think he's struggling to find who he can push at that top level or just a credible level consistently. Because Bianca Belair didn't need Triple H. Jay Gargill is still, I think she's fine for now, but that's still a TBD. I don't like that Blair Davenport lost her first match. I don't care if it was Naomi. I don't like that. Right? Because now you're telling me as the crowd, somebody who just came up, oh, well, she just lost. And she lost, I don't even think, was it to her finisher? I don't think it was even to her finisher. So,
I don't see Blair having.
But it's not.
She's mid card, which is fine. She's a good worker.
But you're already capping off her potential and what she could be by starting out like that. Because Naomi, let's just be blunt, she came back to be with her husband. She went away for a minute.
She's not going to be Naomi, bro. You can't beat Naomi in your first match unless you're like Roxanne Perez.
Well, to me, my personal opinion, I don't think Naomi. I think she has the accolades and like the fan love to be on that level, but the way she's always been presented, I don't think she's on that level. I think she can take a loss. It's fun. I think she can. Now, I think Blair's going to win the feud, but overall, my main overall point.
They feuding?
Yeah, she attacked her right after.
Oh, I didn't know they were feuding for real. I haven't been paying attention.
Yeah. It's. It's not going to be on no pay-per-view, but it's a feud.
Put her in the bloodline, bro.
No more people
That's
in
what
my
I've been
family,
said. No.
please.
I'm not gonna
more.
lie. I'm not gonna lie.
Besides
I'm not gonna lie.
Hikaleo, I guess.
That's what I've been said. You want
They never had a female aspect of the story, bro. Like, come on, it's right there.
I would have
It's
done that
literally
a long time ago, to be honest.
They should have done it in the pandemic.
She wasn't in the
Nia
company
Jax,
a long time.
No, not
literally,
Naomi
Nia
specifically.
Nia Jax and Tamina were literally right there in the pandemic.
Right there.
I'm not gonna lie. Nobody wanted to see Tamina. Nia Jax, I can feel you with.
And Naomi
Not in a
was
wrestling match. They were there. They were there.
If any
Naomi was
aspect,
there
if they could add it to it, it would have to
Yeah.
be like Naomi's gonna have to go with the babyface bloodline, and then Nia's gonna have to go with the heel bloodline.
The heel bloodline, yeah.
Solo's bloodline at this
Good
stage.
work.
If they were to do it in that aspect, but I don't think they'll probably end up adding anybody.
No,
else.
they won't.
Not the women at least.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know what it is. Rhea Ripley seemed to be the only one they want to put with Mel because Bianca Belair, I know she's doing stuff with Jade. That easily could have been like, I'm sorry, B-Fab, no disrespect to you, but it really should be Bianca. No disrespect to B-Fab. No disrespect.
No disrespect, but she doesn't fit, bro. She doesn't fit.
She doesn't.
Like,
That's what I was gonna say, Nate. When she showed up, that's
fit, bro.
kind of on their thing. I was like,
I think
you literally just put her with Ashanti and Cedric in NXT. Literally.
Bro, I was gonna say,
Like,
I think she would fit so much better with the Shantae in NXT, bro. I think that would just.
That's literally perfect. They already have a relationship.
Well, she might go back there because we don't know what these Street Profits finna be on. Bobby finna be out. She might go back there. I don't know. Because if you're not gonna have her with the Pride, what else you gonna do with it?
It's the Pride, bro.
I'm not calling them that. Fuck that.
Pride.
Well, Bobby
Yeah,
Lashley's
the
not here no
Profits
more,
now.
so they're the Street Profits. But
Street Profits. Yeah.
they
Yeah, 'cause
still
Bobby
walking
Lashley
out
might
in the
not
Pride
be
shirt. They were still walking out in the Pride shirt. So
I don't know.
Y'all the Street Profits, bro.
Well, I guess we'll wait and see what happens, fellas. We're gonna go ahead and end off here. We'll be back next week giving our SummerSlam recap. So we'll be back. There's gonna be a lot to talk about next week, guys. So make sure you guys tune in, man. 5 p.m. Eastern time zone.
bro,
It's gonna be a lot to talk about.
I only gonna be on for like 30 minutes because y'all already know what's going on after. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Facts. Hey, y'all pray for your boy. Fall camp starts tomorrow, and these Negroes, these wonderful people who gave me a job,
you already
told me I need to be there by 6:30 a.m. and it's a 30-minute drive. I'm cooked.
Oh,
I'm
man.
cooked.
These Negroes, I'm dead.
I'm not gonna do that because they gave me an opportunity, and I am very grateful for it.
Wonderful African American gentlemen.
They're gonna catch you, bro.
Honestly,
You're done. You're cooked.
Yeah, but 6:30 a.m.
He's a little upset. It was black people that gave him the job.
Man, I've been
He's
working
a little
in
upset.
the morning.
Shut
It's hard to get
That's
used to.
wild,
Man.
bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like morning shifts. Not early morning, but I like
I prefer.
10 a.m. shifts.
Morning shifts I can do, but like I can wake up at 7, but I gotta be there by 6:30.
I don't get
Yeah,
up
that's
till-
why. That's why.
I don't get up till afternoon.
I'd
bro.
be starting at like 6.
I
Bro, I'm
gotta
not
go to
lying.
work till like.
I gotta
4,
be
so.
there. I gotta be there at 6.
I'm not a morning person, bro. Even if I go to sleep at night and wake up in the morning, I'm still like, bro, it's the morning, bro. Like, I don't feel right.
Nah, bro. Like I gotta be there at 6:30 a.m. for a meeting. You got practice till like 11, and then we have lunch, and then we have a meet. We have another meeting afterward till like 4, and then Monday I guess we're meeting the parents. So I gotta be there at 6:30 to meet with the parents. Mind you, this is a 30-minute drive from my house, so that basically means I gotta stay there because I'm not wasting that gas. It's too much nowadays. I'm cooked. I hope you know this. I'm cooked.
I am cooked.
And it's Monday, and it's a Monday through Thursday type camp. So I got to do this repeatedly.
That's tough. That's tough.
God.
All right, fellas, we'll be back next week, guys. Thank you for coming in. SummerSlam recap will be next week, so make sure you guys tune in because it's gonna be a lot